seven is spiritual. And God used the seventh day as his rest day when he looked back and reflected. So when he looked back, he said, "It is completed." But it was the sixth day that he created man, because that like CJ was saying, that would go completely against all that was preached, that on the seventh day was rest, because God would have been working when he created man. So that wouldn't put him at rest. He would be busy doing.
Here's chart for you. Good luck.
Good morning, Sir Trot.
Oh, Sanhedrin in the house. Watch your back.
What's going on?
What's up?
Who we talking about? Who we talking
I
about?
got an early question for you.
Okay. What's up?
Okay, we were talking about the rest, and a thought just hit me. Okay, I know on the sixth day the Lord spoke, and he said, "Let us make man in our image, our likeness, and give him dominion." But then chapter 1, verse 31 in Genesis. It said, "And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. In the evening and the morning for the sixth day." So that was the completion of the sixth day. It finished.
What what verse was that again?
31.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What about it?
But then in chapter 2, we see that man is actually being created. In chapter 2, on the seventh day, it's being spoke of.
Okay, so the question is, was man created on the sixth day?
I think it was seventh because he was complete. He was in the image of God. He represented God.
Okay. So let's go back to where it says that man was created on the sixth day. Where because you just read it. Where was that at? 25.
Okay, so that would be Genesis 1:26.
Yeah,
27.
Right. And God said, and you just read it, "Let us make man in our image." And so you just read all that, right? And he have dominion, 27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, God created him. Female created them. All right. And God blessed them and said unto them, "Be fruitful and multiply." So if he's speaking to them, be fruitful and multiply right here, right? So be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth, subdue it, dominion. All right, 29. And God said, "Behold, I have given you every herb." Who's he talking to where he says, "I have given you"? Past tense. Who's he talking to right here? 29.
I would think Adam and Eve.
Yep.
Yeah, because he said, "I have given you every herb." So they're already there. He's talking to them. "Bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, every tree, the fruit of the tree, yielding seed, you shall," and it says, "it shall be for meat." It says, "In the which is the fruit of the tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for." And Jesus said, "I have meat that you know not of." Is he kind of meat? Is it talking about? What kind of meat is Jesus talking about? What kind of meat is this talking about? What kind of meat is this? And the fruit of the tree yielding seed, to you it shall be meat.
Revelation. It's like a revelation, like understanding wisdom.
Well, no, I
all
know,
the
but
fruits
no,
of
no.
the
I'm
Spirit.
saying black age. What is meat right here?
It comes from an animal,
No,
right?
no. In verse
Oh
29.
no! In the beginning, it
No,
was
verse 29.
okay. So
Verse
meat
29.
is something to eat.
No, verse 29. Read verse 29 and tell me, black letters on a white page, what is meat in verse 29?
Something to eat.
No, read it. Read verse 29.
And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat.
What will
So it's food.
It's fruit. Fruit, not food, not animals. It says right here, it says, which is the fruit of the tree yielding seed, meaning an apple that has seeds in it. Fruit. Right? It says
Okay.
it's the word fruit. So the word meat is talking about fruit right here in context, right? Black letters on a white page. Right? It's not anything else. It says it right here that the meat is fruit. Correct?
Yes.
Right. Our job is to try to understand what that is. So, I'm doing it this way just to show you that sometimes we can kind of well, anyway, I'm getting to your point, but I just want to point out that you don't eat of my flesh. Is his flesh meat?
Yes.
Yeah, but he's a tree of life. He's a tree of life, and he bears fruit, and it's meat for us. Understand? Okay, so
That's why Jesus says, "I am the fruit of the vine."
yeah, I'm the fruit of the vine. All right, so that's 29. All right, 30, it says, and to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, to everything that creepeth upon the earth, there is life. I have given every green herb for meat. So now the green herb here is meat. And then it says, and it was so. And it says, and God saw everything that he had made. Past tense made, right?
Man.
Yes.
Yeah, past tense. So that means it's already made, not going to be made, already made. We have to agree to that though before we can move on, Jennifer. Is that correct? Already made?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it says that he had made, and behold, it. What's the it? The thing that's already made. It was very good. So it wasn't just good. It was very good. What was the thing that was already made? And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. So this is the sixth day. And it says, thus the heavens and the earth were finished. So everything's finished, including man, heaven, earth, finished, and all the host of them. And on we're at the seventh day. Says God ended his work which he had made. So he's at the end. It's done. That he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all the work which he had made. He rested. Right? So Sabbath, even though the Old Testament, even in the New Testament in some places, it constantly talks about the Sabbath day. Sabbath day. Keep it holy. Sabbath day. So, and rest is always on that day. So it ain't easy to see for a lot of people, but through time, I haven't met one yet that hasn't understood it through time. But at first, it ain't easy because we've been taught for a very long time that Sabbath was a day. Jesus is the Sabbath. Sabbath is not a day. It's a person. You understand? So Jesus is called what? A lion, a lamb, a son, and believe it or not, he's called a day too. He is. He's called a day. But Jesus is God's rest. That's what rest is. And it says, all right, and God blessed the seventh day. Why would he bless the seventh day? Why would he bless that day? What is a blessing? In the Old Testament, you have fathers and sons. Does the father bless the son in the Old Testament?
Yeah.
He blesses it, right? And it says, and God blessed the seventh day and sacrificed and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. Then it says, these are the generations. So now it's getting into intricate detail about Adam and Eve. But the creation and everything's already done. Now that's why it says, and these are the generations of the heavens and the earth when they were created. These are the generations, meaning Moses is breaking down into some detail about what was made. And it says, heavens and earth, let's see. Sorry. Okay. And the earth, when they were created, it says, in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens and every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew, for the Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. So there was no man to till the ground. And it says, and the Lord God formed a man. So this is going through detail when he made Adam. That's all it's doing. This is not the first time that we're hearing that man was created. This is the first time that we're hearing in detail, more detail rather than a very vague explanation. And it says, and the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils and the breath of life, and man became a living soul. So that right there is explaining exactly what God did to make man. But the first part that we read regarding the days was just a quick day 1 through 6, and then about everything that was created. And then the seventh day comes obviously right after that, just to talk about that he rested. That was the day that he rested that day. And so when it says, basically now we're going to talk about the genealogies, it's just getting into detail, like the begattens. There's parts in the Bible where it's like freaking whole chapter long, and so begat so-and-so. So-and-so begat so-and-so. Man, the very first time I went through the begattens, I was like, nah, I'm good. Boy, when I looked at, I think I read about, 4 inches down the page or something, and I kind of looked forward a whole page and a half, and I'm like, oh, no. We are not to begatten for an hour here. So I just...
Bro, I was like, let me go to sleep.
I'm like, man, we are not about to begatten my whole day. So, but that was the first time that I was reading the Bible. So I went ahead and just went on with the stories. And I think it took me...
You skipped that part?
Well, can I finish? You're interrupting. Can I finish?
Dang,
I finish? It's all right. It's all right. Patience.
Interrupting people,
Patience, bro. Patience. So that was, again, like I said, that was the first time I ever read the Bible. And yeah, I skipped it so I can get to stories. So, I want to say the first time I read it, the Bible, I mean, if you want to, I mean, there were things that I skipped like that and some other things. So you could probably take about, I don't know, a centimeter or maybe a quarter inch worth of book, worth of Bible. And the first time I read the Bible, about a quarter inch, or it's not but it was several pages, quarter inch or so worth, that I know for a fact the first time I read the Bible, I didn't read none of that, like the begattens and some other stuff. But it probably took me about, I don't know, 2 or 3 months to just read the whole Bible. And I remembered, like, I wrote down all the stuff that I didn't read, and I read the Bible the second time, basically within a couple of months, and I didn't read it again. So the third or fourth time, I don't remember exactly which one, but the third or fourth time that I read it, I finally read the begattens and just a bunch of stuff that I don't know. I felt like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, man, I'm not going to understand the begat. Like, I don't see the point of knowing all that, at the moment. So, but the third or fourth time, yeah.
And why do you skip that? Because there's a story behind the name, bro.
Yeah. Again, you're interrupting. You're interrupting me, bro. I don't know why you're not letting. I'm not sure why you're not letting me finish, bro.
All right,
I'm not sure.
Right,
I'm really not.
All right.
I'm just not understanding this. So anyway,
get behind me, say.
Anyway, so like I said, the third or fourth time that I was reading the Bible is when I read it, and so like after that, I read them every time that I read the Bible, which was dozens of times. But so I went over them dozens of times after the first. For flip, the first 2 times that I read the Bible is when I skipped it, which was in a matter of a few months, right? Like 4 or 5 months or something. But the other few dozens of times that I read the Bible, I read it every time. And that year is when I started learning Greek and Hebrew, and not as a language, was learning to understand how it was used. And I learned it formally. I don't know why people like to use that word like it's cool. I was formally using it, meaning someone that knew what they were talking about was going over it with me. I wasn't just trying to figure it out all on my own. No, I had formal education on Greek and Hebrew for several years, and it took me about a good couple of years when I realized that people try to use Greek and Hebrew as a weapon. So they think if you don't know how to pronounce the word right, that you didn't learn nothing. Don't listen to those people. That is a complete lie. You don't have to know how to pronounce anything correctly. I'm just glad I had such an awesome teacher that was able to of learning the language. And it's not to boast. It's not to somehow get people to trust you. But this is what people do today. They constantly will say, I have formal training. and I'm glad I was shown this side of how people can be. They want you to look at all their certificates and everything, which if I had to show certificates, I'd have plenty myself. But, that's what they want. They want you to compare certificates, right? From this world that this world gave you a piece of paper, and that's why you listen to me, because I got a piece of paper and I'm going to show you. And I'm like, yeah, well, sounds good. But Paul the Apostle had all, but he still lacked one thing. And when he got that one thing, he said, man, all the pieces of paper I have is garbage. And guess what? He knew Hebrew better than anyone, probably in the circle that you have. He knew Hebrew better than people at your church, no offense, better than this app, for God's sakes. So anyone you know on this app, more than likely, Paul the Apostle knew Hebrew better than them. And guess what? He knew how to pronounce every word, but he couldn't tell you what was in them scriptures if he tried with all his pieces of paper. And he had the best formal training that you could ask anyone to prove that they got formal training. But again, he still lacked one thing. And there are people to this day that are trying to think that if they learn the Hebrew the way that Paul knew the Hebrew better than anybody, but he was blind as a bat. He didn't see nothing, but he can break down Hebrew. I'll tell people, if you get so much training in Hebrew, you need to go teach someone else how to speak Hebrew, because it ain't going to do you any good in the Bible if you're lacking this one thing. And that one thing is the issue. And so there's plenty of people who get saved through Christ, but they're still blind. And you have to ask, well, why are you not seeing this? What is stopping? And it's because they're putting too much time in Greek and Hebrew and not enough time in the Spirit. That's the problem. And that was Paul's problem. He was doing everything that man told him he was supposed to do, but he wasn't doing anything that the Spirit was telling him to do. And so he finally went to the desert for years. He didn't go to the desert for years to study Hebrew again. He went to the desert so he can start using his heart to read the Bible. You can understand all the Greek and Hebrew you want. You can explain it forward, backward, upside down, the pictures of it, the imagery of it. You can explain it all, what each little letter could represent if you flip it this way. Man, all the numbers. You can learn all that all day long and all the formal training you want. But until you go to the desert for years and let the Spirit tells you what it means, you're just doing nothing but learning another language. That's all you're doing. So, if you're going to learn Greek and Hebrew, make sure your motive is right. Not to boast about how you have the most amazing formal training, because formal training Paul had all the formal training and he didn't know what it meant. But he knew all the Hebrew, but he didn't know what it meant. And then finally he comes out of the desert and he starts talking about what it meant. And he wasn't preaching the law. He didn't come out of the desert and was more focused on the law more than ever. He was focused on Christ. But what he saw in the language is what allowed him to know what it meant. Hagar and Sarah. Jesus is the last Adam. These things is what he saw. It didn't say it in its original language. It didn't say it. He finally read the Bible with his heart. You can learn all the Greek and Hebrew you want, but if you ain't learning the Bible with your heart, if you're not understanding it with your heart, then you're not going to be like Paul. And I hate to say it, but if you're not preaching it the way Paul preached it, you ain't preaching it right. I don't know how any other way to say this. Paul preached such a radical grace in a way that people would ask him, are you saying that we can just do whatever we want? Let me tell you, when Paul was preaching the law, nobody asked Paul that. When Paul preached the law, no one asked him, hey, can we just go do whatever we want? No one asked him that. He made it very clear. You will be stoned. No one had a problem with that. But you start preaching radical grace to people who are under the law, even Western day Christians today. They don't realize they're still under the law in their mind. They don't realize it. They think because they're not doing the sacraments and they're not all the things that you're supposed to do while you're under the law. They think because they don't do all those things that in their conscience, they're not under the law. No, my friend, you are. 100% you are. When you make fun of hyper grace, they call it hyper grace, bro. Nobody spoke a more hyper grace than Paul. His grace was so hyper, as a matter of fact, that people misunderstood what he said. They said, oh, so we can just go continue to sin? So we can go do whatever we want? Notice the questions that they asked him. If I was to ask any Christian today, is that what Paul was saying? Oh, no, he wasn't. They're saying that they would not be the person asking Paul if they can go do whatever they want. And you're a liar. 100%. You who says that you would not ask Paul that question, yes, you would. 100%. You know how I know? Because I preach it the same way Paul does, and you characters ask me all the time. You ask all the time. Oh, hyper grace. Also, hey, try. We could just go do whatever we want. Why are you asking me the same questions they asked Paul? It's radical. It is right. You're not seeing what you're doing. You're not seeing it. The reason you ask, can we go do it, or what you're talking as hyper grace, because you're hating the way that it's being expressed. You're hating it because it's your flesh that's trying to keep you under the law, and you don't even realize it. You think that the little bitty law that you have is not the big law they had. No, my friend. No, it's sin conscience. It's the exact same thing. That's the thing that Paul was trying to take people away from, to having a sinful conscience, meaning your conscience is constantly focused on who's good, who's evil. Am I supposed to be doing this? Is this that bad? And so when people talk about grace, oh, well, hyper grace, those guys, they just go do whatever they want. If you are not understanding that you are the person that is in the crowd asking Paul, hey, Paul, wait a second, buddy. Hey, guy, are you saying that we can just do whatever we want? And Paul's like, God forbid. That's not what I'm saying. So if you don't believe that Paul was asked that, you need to go read the Bible again and again, and you will see that people were asking Paul this question. He addressed it a few times. Why? He addressed it because people were asking him that. He didn't address it just to address it for no reason. That's not what he's saying. He wasn't just talking about God's grace and he's the one that was like, oh, by the way, guys, if you think I'm saying to go do whatever you want, that's not what I'm saying. Nah. You need to go pay a little more attention to the Bible. That's not what Paul was doing. He was addressing this because if you become familiar with the Bible, you could tell he's addressing it because of what people were doing and saying. I don't know why people say the scripture doesn't have to say every page. And another man came up to Paul and asked Paul, can we continue to sin? And that's what you want to see, bro. It is evidently clear that this is what was coming to Paul, and he's addressing it because this is what people are thinking that he was saying. And Paul was not saying that, nor am I, and nor of any Christian that I personally know is saying anything like that. Hulk, what's up, man? I ain't seen Hulk in about 3 months. Let me see. All right. Man, where's my little thing at? Oh, here it is. All right. So, the whole Bible is entwined with itself, like the whole thing. To separate topics and to separate is really, it's not easy to do unless all you're doing is separating the Bible and topics. But anyway, all that branched off from Jennifer asking about man being created on the 6th or 7th day. Man was created on the 6th day. And when the Bible says that God cannot find no man to till the ground, he made one. But it happened on the 6th day. Even though it comes after the 7th day, the 1 through 7 day is like a synopsis, if you will. It's like overview. Like an overview of what God did, and then we start getting into detail. And then, of course, there's other people that say, no, that was the first group of humans that God made, and people do want to believe that that's an entire different group of people and all that. And but like I said, it ain't worth fighting and arguing about. So I don't. But the Bible says we come from Adam and Eve. It doesn't say we came from that first group of people. So even if, God was to say, oh, just so y'all know, that was a first group of people. Okay, well, we didn't come from those first group of people. Obviously, we came from Adam and Eve. So, I just kind of keep the conversation there. But I do want to address a couple of things real quick. Let me see.
Exactly what I was trying. I see that when the Lord was speaking about the image and the likeness, he says us. So he had to be talking to somebody. I mean,
Well, again,
I don't-
yeah. Well, again, God's not in heaven alone, right? And so, of course, there's many debates, that he could have been talking to his son Jesus. He could have been talking to Jesus and the Holy Spirit. So we can sit here all day and kind of try to ask ourselves, who is he talking to? And the one thing I will say is that I don't know why people think that God's in heaven by himself. There's so many scriptures in the Bible that prove that he's not by himself in heaven, right? But when we play the game that there's other humans up there, when we see mankind made it on the sixth day, then now you're kind of stepping into now what you're saying is, well, it has to be humans, because what I think is, the Bible doesn't tell us that there were humans before Adam, right? So even though we can, trust me, I've been around.
not necessarily.
Do what?
Not necessarily humans, but I think it was angels, because he says, eat of every pleasant tree, right? So
Yeah,
these trees, they have to be representing something.
yeah. No, they're angelic.
not just-
They're angelic beings. 100% they are. Okay, So, but what I'm saying is they were not mankind. Is the point I'm making, right? So, but we know that God is He's triune. He's triune. So even though he's one God, that doesn't mean that the old crepit old man with the white hair is sitting down looking at the young sun and the bird flying around, and he's like, "Hey, y'all, we need to make man in our image." Sounds good. It's a great Mary Poppins story, as far as when we were taught as kids that in the tree was a snake curled around a branch, and he's like, "Say, eat this apple right here." When we were kids, we had to be shown some way that there's something out there that wants to deceive us, and so that's how you tell it to a kid. But and by the way, the little Satan sounding thing, any coincidence? I mean, any how do you say it? Any if just because I sound really good at playing Satan, it's just a mere coincidence. Okay, so everybody just calm down. Just calm down. I'm just thinking, like, when I was a kid, that's how it was explained to me, right? Like this, I remember, bro, being in Sunday school, and the teacher's like, and the snake was like, "Say, eat this apple." Ooh. We have little plays about it, and everybody's like, "No, don't eat it." And then you become 30, 40. It was a snake in a tree. I saw it when I was 8. It's like, no, bro.
Funny part about that, they picked Satan in some of these movies and everything. He sounds just like that.
Oh yeah,
with that smothering voice.
Oh yeah,
it cracks me.
Yeah, he's like, yes, like Aladdin. We used to put Dre used to put the picture up of Aladdin. What was Aladdin's enemy's name? Jafar or Jafar, whatever. Anyway, Dre used to put the picture up. I don't remember what word he's saying in the movie, but there's a part in there where he becomes like a serpent, but he's talking while he's changing, and his tongue comes out, and he's like, and we used to pull that out when people would come up. Hey, do you still sin? Say, do you still sin? Dre would put that picture up. I'd maybe die laughing every time, but it's because of how we've been taught away. Like Paul said, when I was a child, I spoke as a child. I thought as a child, meaning that the way the Bible is presenting it to you, he's presenting it to you in baby steps. But when you grow up, you need to start understanding what that really is. The Bible's not calling Satan a serpent because it was a physical serpent. And it seems that way because he tells them, to the belly may you eat dust all the days of your life. And so they picture saying, God told you, go to your belly and slither around. and you're gonna eat dust because your mouth is so close to the ground. And it's like, no, bro, that's not. No, it's talking about his own will. That's the belly. That it's to someone that's still in, Mary Poppins. When it comes to the Bible, that's all they. We walk around and we're like, look, the snake's on its belly, like the Bible says. Well, yeah, yeah. When I was 8, I thought the same thing, but that's not what's going on here. So, to this day, people are like, no, the snake was very smart, and it used to speak to people because look, Balaam's donkey spoke. It's really weird how Jesus authored this Bible to make the flesh see one thing, but someone who have ears to hear, they see it completely different. It's saying something completely different. But the flesh sees, oh, the snake spoke, the donkey spoke, so animals spoke. That's what people believe because their carnal eyes, that's what they see, and they're not understanding what's actually being said. So, in a very weird way, Jesus authored this to mock the flesh, and more truths in the Bible. You'll see a lot of it is there to mock the flesh, meaning like Jesus wrote it in a way because he knew the flesh would fall for it that certain way, and it has worked. It worked perfectly for all this time. People's flesh, Jesus used it the way that the flesh sees pleasantly, the way it sees, he used it to hide himself in the Bible because only the Spirit can reveal it. So if you still think that Adam and Eve were in a physical garden running around butt naked and and there was a physical snake in the tree, my friend, your 8-year-old you is still the one trying to understand things. You need to let that sucker grow up. You can see like an adult, right? Talking about in the spirit. But anyway, there's something I wanted to address. So Troy, my cup came in yesterday, and it's a wee one. See it?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, bro. I mean, even in your hands, it's small.
It's a wee one. So this is this is a 12. So this is 12 ounces, and I think a cup is 8, right? A cup, like a measuring cup.
It is 8 ounces.
Yeah. So it's a little bigger than a cup, but this is the size that I'll released. This one right here, and I think this is 20 ounces. I think this was 20 ounce. I wonder if it says it right there.
See, that's what I thought, and that's what I thought I was getting when I saw that cup on the site. I mean, it's all good. I like the cup, but I think we ought to get a cup like the 20 ounce with the same logo on it.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out. Well, we're looking into it. Just remember this site's new to us too, and I mean it does say 12 ounces. I mean, to be honest with you, me and you both should have known how small 12 ounces was, but I think what I was doing is just kind of imagining, I guess, using my lava floor kid imagination, kind of hoping that it was still going to be a big cup. I don't know why it said 12 ounces, and I'm like, oh, surely it's not going to be a small cup, and it clearly says 12 ounces right there.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah. I was hoping
thinking that a coffee cup is 8 ounces, so I was like, surely it's bigger than a coffee cup that I drink out of normally.
Yeah. So I want to address that and make sure we all know that it is a wee one. It is. I mean, I know a regular coffee cup is 8 ounces. This is 4 ounces big, so it's literally just a little bit bigger than your typical coffee mug. Okay, so I guess that means I'm just gonna have to get 3 of them. No, I'm kidding, but I will say this: the presentation of the cup actually it is as nice as it looked. So that part is true.
Right size for you, huh?
No, this one's right size, bro. 20 ounces. This one right here. I got bigger ones. I just ain't been using them lately.
Like the cup. You know how that screen print, like the cup, like that screen printing's done on the cup.
Yeah.
That the notebook is the same way.
Yeah.
How it comes onto the front of it.
Yeah, no, they did a good job, man. I can't knock them for that. I mean, we gave them a decal, and I can't knock them for that. I mean, that thing looks exactly how it's supposed to look. So I don't have anything to say about that. But I know Dre was going to look into, seeing if we can get bigger ones. But hey, one thing at a time. All right. Well, that's that. Another thing is, I don't know if y'all know Agape. I don't know if she's in here or not. Let me see.
She was earlier.
Oh, well, I wanted her to be in here when I brought this up. Well, I think she's still in here. Well, she sent me a message and said she got a message from YouTube saying that her membership was on hold, or no, that descaled memberships were on hold. And like something like get your refund or something. And me personally, I think that's a scammer trying to get information from you because we have several members. And Agape, I know you're in here. I saw you just now in the thing. But no one else has received that message that I know of. So if you have, guys, if you're here and you're a member, if you received a message that said something similar to that, can you type that in the chat, or if you're on the panel, like say that you've received a message like that?
I was going to say I've only received that message once. That was when you were having the issues with YouTube, but I haven't had a message like that since.
Yeah, so it's more than likely, like I told her in a message. I told Agape in a message, like, as of right now, I'm going to say it's not true. I would not respond to that email because it could be one of those emails where they're like, "Oh yeah, you're on this channel right here, and we put them on, I don't know, in the corner." And it said something like, if you want your money back at any time, let us know or something. And I mean, if you think that someone's account is like no longer doing its thing, you could easily call that number, like, "Oh yeah, I didn't know." Okay, well, if you can give us your credit card number that you use so we can put it in the system, like that's what they're looking for. So more than likely,
Send a scam.
Yeah,
Whenever YouTube, I'm sorry, Troy.
No,
I
you're
was
good.
just going to say whenever YouTube did go down, it never mentioned anything about giving the money back. They just said that everything would go back after a short period of time. So that's absolutely 100% a scam.
Yeah, this one.
Give you your money back.
Yeah, this one's like, getting your money back. And I mean, it just sounded like a scam right off the rip. Plus, everybody that's a member would have got that message, right? So, and if all you get a message like that, all I got to do is go on there and see if anything's on hold. First of all, I checked, nothing's on hold. So that's a lie. That whatever that app said is not true, because there is no hold on our on Descaled. So, but I'm glad she brought that up. That might help somebody. Maybe you'll get a message next. I don't know. Let's see. Tammy, what'd you say? Since the spirit spoke through the donkey, the serpent speak from a different spirit. Well, yeah. So, the serpent is representing sin itself, right? It's not representing a physical animal, right? Because Satan is called the serpent, right? He's called the serpent. So if we say that the donkey spoke and the serpent spoke, and they both spoke from a different spirit, we would have to say that serpent was a physical snake, and it wasn't. It wasn't a physical snake, right? So, which means that the serpent itself is sin, but it wasn't a physical snake. Now Balaam's donkey was a real physical donkey, but Balaam was riding a donkey. But when the Bible talks about Satan and it says that old serpent, and it's always talking about him as a dragon, there was no dragon in the Bible, right? And so the serpent, when it's called cunning, it's because there's two cunnings in the Bible, right? You have a wittiness of the spirit and you have a wittiness of the flesh for us today. And so the serpent, when it says it was more cunning than any other beast in the field, the serpent itself was sin. It was cunning in a different way. So it wasn't a physical snake. I know people still want to believe it was. No, it wasn't. And they think it is because it says that God told the serpent, because you have done this. Let me say this, I don't want to get into the thing, but it's just God told the serpent, because you have done this. So the serpent, it's the serpent's fault. So let's say the snake was a physical snake. So God punished the snake. All this is the snake's fault, a physical snake. So now it's not the devil's fault, it's the snake's fault. No, you just have to.
Then he also said that he was going to slither on the ground for the remainder of his days also. So I guess that's where they would take that from as well.
Yeah, they would say, okay, well, it says to the belly may you go, and may you eat dust all the days of your life. He's talking to the actual Satan. He's talking to the actual, let's see, the tree had a dead root. Well, the tree, right, being an angel, a messenger, the serpent was in that tree, but in the sense of like in the midst of it, right? So not a snake was wrapped around a branch, but that's what it sounds like, right? It sounds that way. But when Moses spoke to the burning bush, right, the burning tree, the voice came out of the midst of it. Jesus wasn't sitting on the branch on a tree that was burning up talking to, or God wasn't just sitting or wrapped around a branch with his hand on his head like, hey, Moses, sup, bro? Like, he wasn't in the tree like that. When it says that the voice came out of the midst of the bush, it's because the bush or tree is what was speaking to him, okay? Was a fallen man. Moses was not a spiritual man that had spiritual eyes. I'm talking about spirit. He wasn't spirit, is what I'm saying. So when the eyes were healed when Jesus healed the blind man's eyes in the New Testament, Jesus says, "What do you see?" And he said, "I see man as trees, walking around as trees." And then people say, "Oh, well, surely Jesus had to pray for him again because we're not trees." People were blind. I'm talking about in today's era, they're still blind and think that so Jesus had to do something again to make it clear. No, he saw spiritually correctly. That's what happened. He didn't see wrong. And so when Jesus put his hands on his eyes again, it was so he can see in this world, right? That because the spirit is what gets healed first. Your spirit does.
Hey, Truck, I got a question to ask you, brother.
What's up?
Hey, you tell me people got in 46, but the pages now show up on the 4-year page. To find that, to type in these skills to get in there and find you. A message from people saying, "Are y'all live? Y'all live?" Like, yeah, we live. But we're not showing up on the page for some people right now. That's why I've only 48 people in there. It's not showing up.
Like I was saying, there was that update, but you said you updated, right, Paul?
Yeah, I already updated mine. I'm good, but it's still not showing up. For some people right now, we're not even live. It don't even show it. Man, type in these skills, they can find y'all. That's why I was late. I was like, man, what's going on? Now I just typed in these skills and I found it.
Yeah.
So something's going on.
Yeah, well, I know on TikTok, for some reason it's been a month and I can't send messages to anybody on this app from Descaled. So
That guy's blackballed right
Well,
now.
it
Like the
says
for
that
you
on
page.
that one, it says that you've been blocked or banned or something.
yeah,
Yeah, they get something wrong. They got us blackballed. They got where we can't see the for you page. And normally we're up there. You know what I'm saying? I see everybody, but I couldn't see nothing. I had to type it in to find it.
and
Yeah, so like
Shadow
Margarita
ban.
Margarita said you're share banned, so y'all can't share it either.
Shadow ban.
Oh.
Shadow ban is shadow ban. Yeah, shadow ban.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Something happened. I don't know
What does that mean exactly?
Shadow ban mean they take you off the for you page where you won't show up unless you type these skilled in. And so that's why I was sitting there for like an hour and a half this morning scrolling through. I'm like, dang, I guess I ain't going. Kept looking at our page and
You were talking about elections yesterday, and Microsoft and Facebook shadow bans people who talk about elections.
No, it's been like this, bro, for a few weeks, man. It's been like that for a few weeks. So
yeah, something that happened to me in the last year was something like that. Like I couldn't message anyone from my account, and then if I would try, like the one time I logged out and tried to log back in, it tried to tell me that my account had been like suspended. And so
yeah,
if other people are reporting your account, then yeah, it can cause you issues as well.
Oh yeah, there's about a couple of dozen shadow watchers that every day they don't even feed their kids. They type comments about how bad descaled is. Don't even worry about their own family.
You might want to maybe just like try to like look it up and see if they got some kind of ban on it, or you can got to appeal it. You know what I'm saying? If you appeal it, it'll lift. But you gotta put the appeal in first, though. But
yeah,
it's just weird, bro. I couldn't find you at all. I mean, nowhere. I was scrolling, looking, nobody on the page I could see. Well, I typed these skilled in, it popped up live, and I clicked on it. There you were. It was weird, man. Weird.
It's been doing that for me. What I do is I just go into who I shared it to last, and then when it shows he's live through my shares, like in my inboxes.
Yeah. Does it show that I'm live?
Yes.
Oh, it does.
It will show when you go live.
Yeah. I didn't share this one at all. Normally I get like 10 shares. Normally I didn't get shares. So they got something going on with it. Our channel, we always got at least 80 people in there. Right now we got 51 people, so something's going on.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting messages from people. Are y'all live? Are y'all live? I'm like, yeah, we live. So see, that's what's going on right now. They're trying to keep us from getting pushed out for, no reason.
I can't even extend my subscription. It won't let me.
See, so something's going on, bro. Just appeal it or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no, I got a couple of messages on my Trot account where someone said that they can't extend their subscription. So I was like, I don't know. I don't understand what that's about. So, let me see. All right, so we talked about.
It's because you're too effective. That's the problem.
Well, yeah, that is obviously the problem. That's obviously the problem. TikTok didn't just wake up one day and be like, "Hey, I'm going to stop this account." No.
Went back through and shared to everybody, bro. I shared to everybody. I shared to like 70 people, so hopefully they'll get it.
I know, but can everybody share, or does it tell you can't? Let me see if I can. I don't even know if I can share it.
No, I can share it, but I can share it. It's just I don't know if they're getting it. That's the problem.
Yeah. Let me see.
Yeah, y'all shared to me this morning. Flip, you always share. Did you share it to me this morning when you come here? Flip. Never mind. But yeah, normally I get like 10 shares.
I couldn't share it.
So I'm saying, man, something's going on, bro. Something's going on.
Yeah. No, I don't know what it is. You know what? I just shared it. Let me share it one time. It didn't tell me I couldn't.
No, I shared it, but they're just not getting the shares. What I'm saying, I'm sharing it, saying sent, but they're not getting it though.
Yeah.
The people I
just
shared
share
to
it
got it and came in.
Yeah.
I don't know what's
It's
up.
just certain
If
people.
you
I believe. I
can
don't know,
share
it's
it
weird.
to someone like on the panel, they can check their messages and see if they got it. Like, say for instance, Flip, share it to Flip and
See, just say Rhonda just shared it to me, and I didn't get it. Normally, it'll pop like a bing, but I didn't get a share.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. It's saying it's going, but it's not.
Yeah, that's weird.
There's something's going on, bro. They got something ours blocked.
Yeah, but you know what?
Not good.
Yeah, but you know what I noticed though, man. I'm kind of feeling deja vu. Like I remember this happening once before, something like this, and it's like whenever they have like a big update, I guess if that makes any sense, everybody's having complication. I remember this kind of happening before. So I don't know. I really don't know what the issue is, but we'll be all right. So let me see.
Well, I'm just messaging people now, man, telling them we're live. So because they're messaging me like, hey, y'all live. Cause like, yeah, we live. So they'll just come in. So
yeah.
Let
me see. Agape, what's up?
Hey, what's up? So yeah, I just noticed on the 23rd when I got that message that it said that it was going to be paused. And then on the 24th, I got a message and said that my subscription will go ahead and continue. So I don't know. It was probably on your end.
Yeah. And like I said, nobody else got that message, right? So it's really, because like I said, there's multiple members like yourself that, for one person to get that, I don't know. That's just it's really odd. But anyway, either way, I'm still going to say what I said, that if I didn't get a message regarding that or no one else did, then I don't care if they backed themselves up and said, oh, it'll be resumed so it doesn't look like a scam, maybe hoping, you hopped on it within an hour or something. And if not, tell them it'll be resumed. That way it's not out the way. I'm just telling you right now, if you get something that says, from the YouTube team and all this, y'all just need to confirm it through us to see if it's true or not. So you don't get scammed. I'm just throwing that. Scams happen all the time. So no big deal. It's all good. All right. Where are we at today? Alex, you had a question a few days ago and you didn't never come back up and now you're here. What's up? Okay. Alex ain't here.
Yeah, God bless. I did have a question, but I just have to go over the question that I wrote down.
What was the question?
I was going all the way through the creation week.
Oh yeah. Which one did you bring up? You brought one specific one up that one day.
About the floods. The three floods that happened.
Yeah, no, we already went over that. That one's easy. No, you're one of the days, the creation days. There was one day that you brought up. Which day did you bring up?
The fourth day.
The fourth day. All right. Excuse me, man. Let me drink some coffee out of my cool descaled cup that's smaller than a little man's cup. Look at that thing. Look how little that thing is, bro. I can use this for a chess piece. Look how big my cup is, guys.
Bro, my hand.
Hey, guys, look how big this cup is.
I pick that up, bro.
Do what?
Jesus, I wouldn't even pick that cup up, bro.
Look at
my
this.
Fingers wouldn't even fit in that cup.
Bro, look at this thing.
Man.
Look, I was hoping it was like this one.
Bro, you fit that one in that one.
I think I can. Yeah.
I couldn't work. Dude, my pinky, I have to use my pinky to pick that thing. I couldn't fit my fingers in there, two of them.
Yeah, man, I don't know why they made that so small. Anyway, all right, so let's see. Where's day 4? Somebody get me there quicker.
It's Genesis 14 through 19.
Genesis 14.
I mean, 1:14.
I'm like, God, no. I'm like, what fourth day we talking about?
It's Genesis chapter 1, 14 through 19.
Hey, I don't know if y'all know who Deftones is. Deftones put a comment in there basically saying the cup is so small because of inflation.
Yo,
That's true.
oh, good.
Get your inflation descaled cup today. All right, let me see. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Jenna.
that cup is small, man. Let me see. Hold it up again. Try it.
For real, bro.
I just came. Yeah, it's pretty small.
Dre, we
Is that
couldn't
12
pick
ounces
it up,
though?
bro. Dre, we
Have you
couldn't pick that
have you
up.
tried to put 12 ounces of liquid in there? See if it's accurate.
Oh no,
or if it
yeah.
lines
I did. I put 12. Literally, 12 ounces goes to like the part where where it starts curving out. It goes right there. It's 12 ounces. It holds 12 ounces.
It just looks small, huh?
It just, well, I mean, it is small.
I mean, 12 ounces is a cup and a half. It's pretty regular, I would say.
No, of course. No. Okay, let me back up. Yeah. So earlier I did say that a regular coffee cup, and I don't know if people realize this, that's why they're called coffee cups, because it's a literal measurement cup of coffee, the ceramic ones or whatever. So this is 12 ounces. So yeah, it's bigger than a regular coffee cup. But the reason it's going to look real small right now is because I'm always holding this thing, which is 20 ounces, right? This is a 20-ounce cup. Or it might be 22. I think it might be. I thought it said it on there, but it don't. But
How much is that wooden one you have? The big wooden one?
That thing is a gallon.
A gallon.
I seen her in real life. Trust me, it's not. That's not. Yeah, that's like what Vikings take to the bar to get drunk.
That thing's a drum.
It's a keg.
Yeah,
That's a drum.
It's a pint. It's a pint. Yeah, no, I think it's 40 ounces. I think that's what it is.
Hey, Dre, you know, it looks like a drum. You know, the drums you stretch like the skin over. It could be a drum. It's so big, bro. Like one of them little drums.
Yeah, it does look like a drum because it's got that leather tribe of Shaka Zulu tribe out there in Africa or something. All right, let's see. Oh, all right, Genesis 1.
Nah, I don't know. I don't know why you're going to Genesis when you haven't gone over the two boys that got boiled.
Yeah, but no, we're gonna go over that. No, we're gonna go over that. But Alex brought this up before the boiling children.
And one more thing, I'm trying to find the harnessing your emotions on TikTok. I mean, on YouTube. I can't find it. Is that one that came from TikTok?
Man, I don't remember. Shoot, I feel like I ain't
find that.
I feel like I ain't talked about that in a minute.
It was from TikTok. It was the old school.
Okay, that means it's not. That means it's not on the lives. It's you gotta hold on a second, guys. That means you gotta look in videos. The TikTok uploads are in the video section.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to. I had to look at something in there. I wanted to reference back something about that, and I couldn't find it last.
All right, so no, we're gonna talk about. Man, I'm glad I thought about it. I probably shouldn't say it that way, but we're gonna talk about the lunatic women that turn their little ones into a succulent meal. We're gonna, turn their little ones into barbecue. Just put it that way. So Genesis 14, 1:14. Let's see. So 13 says, "And the evening and the morning were the third day." 14. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth." And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good, and the evening and the morning were the fourth day. All right. So, Alex, what about that?
So I was just connecting because at the start it says, "Let there be light," plural, so it's singular. Like Christ himself, obviously. And then when there's lights, stars, I would say that, would that be us, the way we become the body of Christ?
Yeah. So anything that God creates is of light. So this is where you have the debate / argument about, were angels made in the image and likeness, or just likeness of God? This is where you get that debate from, because the Bible does call angels stars. Okay, it does.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Lucifer, that name, okay, means light bringer or light bearer. It's crazy. You'll even have people that know Hebrew. They've been studying Hebrew for 10 years. They'll argue with each other about this. So when you have someone who's, who've been studying Hebrew, and they're like, well, actually, and they start breaking down how the word is created in Hebrew, and they'll say it's really light bringer, like the bringer of light. And another one say, no, it's not, the bearer, like the one that's holding it because of this. I've heard all the debates and arguments for years. You know what I've come to learn? Focus on Christ and quit splitting hairs and causing division everywhere you go. If you're not careful, you can divide more people out of your life than bringing more people to your life. You can do that all by yourself, because you keep splitting hairs with every little thing. You have to be right about everything. Listen, if someone doesn't agree with something that I say, I don't ever shun them. I don't shun them. They don't somehow not become my friend. That's not what happens. I just tell them I'm not arguing about it, and they get mad. You know why? Because they want to argue. If you disagree, that's fine, but I'm not going to argue. Well, no, you need to maybe have this conversation, they'll say. And I'm like, so you're going to force me to have a conversation? Listen, these are the Greeks. If you don't know where we got this attitude where you're wanting to force someone to sit down, it comes from the Greeks. The Greeks were all about all kinds of theology, all kinds of philosophy. And you know how their philosophy and theology of the world grew? Because they would sit around in their little tukas and they would sit there and argue about it all day long. It came from the Greeks. I don't know why people don't know this. The way we do school, where you have one teacher that teaches a whole class, even though we can go further back, but a big part of it is how the Greeks did it, bro. The Greeks did it like this. And a lot of people, we keep continuing to do what the Gentiles, what the Greeks did. And we don't realize where we get these kind of, it's a tradition. If you like to put people on the spot and you justify why you put them on the spot by using the Bible or whatever, bro, that's what the Greeks did. They would put people on the spot. That's why the scribes and the Pharisees would go get lawyers, and they'd go get all these people, because the Greeks had taken over. I don't care what anyone says. Spoke Greek back then too. The Greeks had taken over. Even the scribes and the Pharisees kind of picked up the ways of the Greeks. So, when people argue against this, they'll use where it says that Paul reasoned with people in the synagogues. Listen, Paul was not utilizing what the Greeks were doing. Paul knew that Jesus was true, and he just wanted other people to see it. You have to understand that Paul was the one standing on truth. So now we know that his motive was a good motive. You cannot see past that. And then you try to say Paul was doing exactly what all the philosophers were doing. No, bro, because the philosophers were not led by the Spirit to go argue with everybody. That was their flesh doing that. Paul was led by the Spirit to go get other people to see this truth. For you to say that it's the same method, you once again are still blind. You are missing the point. When the Spirit puts an unction in someone to go do something, 100%, they are 100% doing it the way that God is telling them to do it. It's never going to be 100% perfect, but I'm saying the goal is to get people to see the only truth. So if you have 20 philosophers in front of you and they're all reasoning, quote unquote, with one another, which one of them is led by the Spirit? I'm saying man of the world. Which one of them 20 are led by the Spirit? None. Just Paul was. So Paul's led by the Spirit, and it looks like they're all doing the same thing. Bro, they're not all doing the same thing. One is speaking from truth. The other ones are speaking from man's perspective, man's truth. So don't think just because that you're, talking like a motivational speaker and you have like this big heart to change the world that somehow you're being led by the Spirit. If you're not preaching what Paul is preaching, my friend, it's you doing it. You're doing it. You're doing nothing different than what the philosophers and the theologians were doing back in those days. You're doing nothing different. So we take this, we go find a man that we disagree with, and we start throwing our theology and philosophy at him. And you go, no, you're going to sit down and talk to me. I'm not a Greek. I'm not a Greek man. I'm not going to sit down and argue and discuss things with you because you are more than likely, for whatever reason, do not like what either me or someone else is saying. And so you want to throw what you believe because we're going to reason. Well, if you're not led by the Spirit, and we're no longer reasoning, right? So I'm just saying, be real careful on what's motivating you to go argue or debate, because I tell you what, this whole time I've been on this app, and I am talking about this app right now, I've never one time felt led to argue and debate with anybody, ever. Not one time on here. At first, I wasn't sure why, because I don't have a problem going in circles, but I know why now. At first, I wasn't sure. I didn't understand. Like, I never really had a problem, like, debating or arguing. I never really had a problem with that. So I'm like, how come I don't, why is it on this thing right here? How come I don't feel led to do that? And I really had to kind of meditate on that. And it took me a minute to see it, but I know why. I know why now. And so, but at first, I ain't gonna lie, I was a bit confused, but I was never led to do that. And so people sometimes aren't led to do something and they just do it anyway, which means you still learn to tell your flesh to shut up. And so now you start causing division between everybody you're supposed to be friends with because you just have to be the go-to guy. I want to be the smart one. I want everybody to look at me like I'm smart while you're hating on everybody else. This is nothing new under the sun. This has been a thing for years. There are lots of Greeks that would unalive each other because someone got the best at them on the argument. They would build gazebos. They would build I'm making it would look like a Colosseum kind of, but not big like that. But the shape of it, it would have pillars all the way around it. It was outside. They're huge. They're big things. 50 by 50. And that spot, if you wanted to argue philosophy, everybody went there in the middle of like the city, being there arguing about stuff. Can you imagine? I can't imagine. Today, it's probably TikTok. TikTok's the new Greek Colosseum where everybody comes together and wants to argue their
Speaker's Corner, bro.
Huh?
Speaker's Corner in London is where people go to debate. Like they fly out there to debate on purpose.
You got a picture of that?
Yeah. I'll show you some videos. Speaker's Corner. And there's one also in there's another one in California. I can't remember what it's called. Balboa Park. That's where it's like a Speaker's Corner. So people go there and they actually debate live and in person. With each
okay,
other.
all right. Well, hold on. Is it under like what I'm describing, or is it just in an open plane, or what?
So Speaker's Corner is like a plaza. You go to that plaza, and when you go to that plaza, you're looking for smoke. That's it.
Okay, there you go. So we already got, bro. Look, again, it's nothing new, bro. Arguing and debating about philosophy and theology, it ain't nothing new. And it's a tradition, believe it or not. It's been passed down not just to your physical kids, but through our schooling system. There are people who have been to schools, right? Education, okay? And they thought that this is how you do it. And so when I was going to school, for many different things, I've been to school, but when I was going to school, I picked up on that. I go, everybody around here arguing and debating about stuff. Bro, I'm telling you, there are students that went to these schools and they have been trained to believe this is how you do it. You sit around, you throw your idea and you let that person throw their idea and you let that person throw their idea. And then listen, if you're trying to build a company, okay, that's how you do it. But I'm telling you right now, be careful about sitting around in a circle like the Greeks talking about the Bible. I'm telling you right now, I'm starting to see that what people are calling Bible studies is nothing more than a person that's been to one of these Greek type of colleges and they believe that everybody interprets the Bible. So here's the problem. Now you got 10 people in a room. They see the Bible 10 different ways. And before you know it, nobody agrees with nothing, bro. It's such a vain thing. All right, let me see. Well, what happened? I tried to put you up there.
So this is Speaker's Corner. So you'll see like all the debates that take place. People get like in these ladders and they go at it. And you see a lot of it.
And that's what this is for.
Yeah. So Speaker's Corner is well known for debates. So you want to host live debates. So these are all different people doing different debates or whatever throughout.
Wow.
Like it's been a lifelong. Look, this has been since that long. They've been doing this there. There's one God and one mediator, one God of man, Jesus Christ.
So okay, where is this at?
London. I want to go one day, to be honest with you.
Let me say something. So do you think they built this? So basically, I don't want to hear your crap in our town. You take whatever you believe to that, and all y'all go argue over there. You think that's what happened?
Yes. Yeah. So you have Jews, you have Muslims, you have atheists, you have Christians, you have.
All right. So here's my question. If you were to bring one of these topics out, like in the corner, like in the middle of the square, they'll arrest you.
No. That's what it's for.
No. I don't think you understand what I'm saying. No. You said that's what that place is for. I'm not asking you if they argue there. I'm saying if they go to the streets, bro, where cars are driving.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not from London.
I'm curious to know, because I'm curious that if someone was to like take one of those signs and they're like, you either go to they're fools and argue or go to jail. I'm just curious.
I don't think so.
No, okay.
I don't.
Well, I definitely don't know.
I don't think you go to jail for that.
Okay.
I just know that people gather here for this particular reason.
Yeah,
Same thing with Balboa Park.
Yeah, okay. So this isn't...
Taylor, what's going on over there, man?
I don't know. Let me see.
I don't know if Taylor got...
What? That's the amphitheater area of Speaker's Corner.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And everybody sits on those brown steps right there.
Everybody sits on brown steps? What brown steps, dude?
Oh, where the trees are.
Yeah, you don't see like those lines? It's like 1, 2, 3.
Oh, those are steps? Oh, okay, those are steps. Yeah. Oh, okay, I see it now. It goes down. Oh, okay, hold on a second.
Yeah, yep.
Hold on a second. So everybody's facing downward?
In certain areas, yeah. Like there's a guy that's really popular. He'll step down there, and then you'll have like a whole bunch of people out there, and they'll just start asking him questions, and he'll just be like, he's like the Fisher of chess, irrefutable, knows how to ask a question type dude.
Wow, chess master.
He's the king of the hill, is what you're saying?
He's king of the hill, bro.
Yeah,
oh, that's
that dude is. He cold though. I ain't gonna lie, man. Some of the questions they asked him, I was like, oh man, I would have fumbled that one. I ain't gonna lie.
What
Yeah, God
about?
loves
Hold on a
us
second.
out there all
Hold on a
the
second.
time.
Hold on a second. They're asking him questions about chess.
No, man. I said he's like the Fisher of chess, meaning people challenge him. He'll have 5-6 debates going at one time, and he just refutes people like boom, 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 boom. He's just like a machine, bro.
God's
Oh,
got
but
logic, man. He does that.
hold on,
same thing, so
Dre.
he'll do all that.
I must have missed. What does he talk? What does he? Where does he stand? What is this? Is he a Christian
He's
or?
a Christian.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he's a Christian.
Oh,
So
all right.
a lot of atheists, they'll ask him questions, kind of like how, what Ben Shapiro does. Like he'll go to a college and does a speech, and then he'll have like a line of people asking him questions. He's just like refuting them one by one. Like,
Yeah.
boom, get out of here. Boom, get out of here.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Oh man, people can't stand that dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What you call it's pretty good too. Candace Owens is really good at that as well, man. I've seen some of her debates, and she's really smart, man.
Yeah, because they can't stand her. Just same reason they can't stand Ben is because I was hoping one day they would get her to make a rap song. You saw Ben make a rap song with that white guy?
Yeah, but they broke up, right? Like they're not together anymore.
Who?
Ben and Candace Owens. Not that they were not literally. I mean, like their relationship, their business relationship is broken.
Oh yeah, what happened?
She's a Christian and he's a staunch rabbinical Jew.
Yeah,
so they eventually collided.
Yeah, eventually. Yep. That's why. Hey, that's why they should have just left that alone. Should have left it alone. That's what they should have did.
She's doing good though. She's doing good. I mean, obviously, although I love Ben Shapiro, I still think she's ultimately she believes Jesus is the Messiah and God. So how could I not rock with her, right?
What did Alex say? Don't ever ask me again if I have a question. What, Alex? What are you talking about? Alex said, "Don't ever ask me again if I have a question." What?
Balboa Park is over there by you, right? Flip's not up here. Flip, you here? No, he's not here. Yeah, Balboa Park is in San Diego, and they do the same thing. They have they'll start debating. So I can't wait till I move to San Diego so I can be in Balboa Park every afternoon.
Yeah, I think Alex don't know that sometimes we got to get reeled back in.
It happens for sure.
Yeah. We got to get reeled back in.
They want you to be like Ben Shapiro. Get in line, answer questions, next. In the line, answer questions, next.
Yeah. Yeah. Alex, you still there? Alex.
Yeah, you can just go ahead with whatever else you were talking about. Clearly, my questions don't matter.
No, you got to.
I'm not here to.
You got to reel us. You got to reel us back in, bro. You got to be like, guys, y'all forgot about my question or what? You can ask everybody here, bro. Everybody's gonna be like, hey, try. You forget about the question. Oh yeah, my bad. Let me go back to it. So
Alex, just don't worry.
Alex, that sounds really passive aggressive of you, Alex, to say, well, you know what? You don't have to answer my question anymore.
Alex, like, you know what? He's like, just, you know what? Just never mind, man. Just never mind. All right, Alex, I really
make sure you give yourself the screen back too.
Oh,
yes.
No, Alex, I got you, bro. Hey, you just got to be like, guys. Thank you for the gummy bear conversation that y'all are having. Can we please get back? Hey, hold on. You know who's had it the? Let me see if anybody can get it right. Before Alex even come on the panel, but who has had it the worst? Where we're always like forgetting the topic. I know the person on top of my head.
Flip.
Yeah, Flip, bro. Where's Flip at?
I was gonna say Flip too.
Yeah, Flip's not in here. Alex, all you got to do is send Flip a DM and be like, "Hey, bro, how many times does this happen a week?" Bro, I'm telling you, we changed the subject.
Yo.
Flip used to get mad, like, "Hey, bro, we ever gonna go over my question?" Like, "Oh crap!" All right. That was.
I think I'm second worst though, bro, because I be asking questions and they never get answered. Like,
nah.
Wait for
Look what Flip.
Over and over
look what Flip said. Flip said right there. Look, I always get cut off. Again, remember don't just sit there, right? You got to be like, hey, let's go, let's move on. All right. All right,
be
so
assertive.
yeah,
I'd
be
rather
assertive.
text you. I'd be like, I'm just gonna text him directly. But
Oh my Lord! Listen to this. Look, I'm sorry if you guys can't read the message.
I've never had the problem.
If you guys can't read the message that just came through, I'm going to translate for you. All right, there. If y'all didn't understand what that's, translate that message for you.
Don't worry, I get.
Anyways, all right.
She's always coming for your throat,
bro. Right, she always come in here, bro, hating on me, bro. Golly. Hey, that's why you got choked out yesterday. Oh, Alex, bro, give me 30. Alex, give me 30 more seconds, please. Alex, please give me 30 more seconds, bro. Yesterday was Mackenzie's first day, bro, in BJJ, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class. Bubba, the whole time I'm like, okay, because I knew that first girl she was with, I'm like, that girl ain't gonna do nothing. But I was seeing the other two girls, I'm like, here in a minute, he's gonna put her with one of them girls. I was like, one of them girls gonna choke her out, bro. She started going after it, bro, and I'm like, here it comes. And I seen her grab the back of that gi. I'm like, that's it. I just see Mackenzie's head come up. She's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, get you some. Oh man, I'm sorry, honey. You threw yourself under a bus. All right, Alex, come on, let's go. We're gonna go through there. We're gonna go through there. Alex, when Dre rudely interrupted and started talking about London, where are we at?
Talking about the stars.
The stars. Yeah. So the stars, we know that the Bible calls the stars angels, right?
But men are stars as well. Daniel writes that those who have insight.
Yeah. So anything that God makes, anything, and I know all this happened because I and how people argue, well, that's not really his name. Oh my Lord, I know. So when the Bible, or let me back off and instead of saying the Bible, I'll just talk about God. When God makes something, bro, when he makes it, it is going to, let me just say this. When the Bible says that anything that was not made without Jesus, that's what the Bible tells us, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So if everything that was made had Jesus in it, and Jesus is God, then that means that thing has to bear light, correct? It has to. So it's not wrong for God to call angels stars, and then we think of the stars that are shining up there, when in fact, every angel bears light, like the thing that created it, God. So this is where you get the argument that, okay, well, then that means that angels are in the image or likeness or image and likeness. I'm not going to get in the debate on that because it's actually quite simple. I mean, I don't understand where it's so simple. It really is. But you can't lie to the people. Like, right? If someone was to come up to you and say that angels are made in the image of God, so you're like, okay, what do you mean by that? And again, it's, look, I'm just going to keep it simple. Maybe one day we need to go over specifically what image and what likeness is and all that. But this is what I will say. You have to at least be honest about one thing. They are bearers of light. God made them, so they have light in them, and the light comes from the light, which is God. So in some similarity, none of us can say that there's no similarity at all, bro. They were made from God. So they have some sort of similarity of God. There is something about them that is godly. Something about them is godly. And obviously it's the light, because God is light. All right. So the other side of that is, okay, well, they're not the image and likeness of God, only man are. And you're like, okay. And so this is where people are like, okay, well, where's what scripture are you using? Let me tell you, if you're looking for like a verbatim passage that tells you about when it comes to angels and humans and God, if that's what you're looking for, it kind of shows like where you are in the level of understanding. And there's no other way to say this, but, and again, Alex is bringing up Genesis 1. Where does it start, Alex?
14.
Huh?
14.
14.
Let there be light.
Yeah, so he's talking about light and the lights. And what I'm doing is I'm going over something that everybody should at least know, that that anything that God makes is going to have light in it. I'm just like, there's no way. I don't understand. There's something I want to say so bad, but it's going to get into how people view these things. But I'm just saying, if you can at least be honest, right? There is something about an angel that has to, it has to validate where the angel came from, right? There has to be something that validates that, and it is the light. All right. And God tells us that we're not in the darkness, but we're in the light, right? So we're all in the light. Darkness, right. And the darkness has no light, and it doesn't. We know that. If darkness had light, it wouldn't be dark. Right. All right. So I just wanted to go over that part because, I've even seen people who are friends no longer be friends because of this topic, dude. It's not worth it. It's really not. I know your flesh wants to, prove its side and prove its point. Trust me, I know. But love is a great equalizer. It's better to show someone that you care for them than you do, forcing them to see a certain way. If they just tell you, I don't agree, fine. Then fine, you don't agree, and that's fine. But, I don't know. I'm telling you, Genesis 1 is no different to me. It's no different than water baptism. Do you have to be water baptized to be saved? Trinity versus oneness. All these topics, the book of Revelation, it's no different, man. I've seen people literally stop being friends because they couldn't come eye to eye with Genesis chapter 1. So it's not worth it. All right. Now that I went over kind of the light part, Alex, let's go more into your question about why you brought this up.
So I pictured the fourth day as the day of Christ, because us coming together as lights become one body. So I'm going to say before Adam and Eve were kicked out of Eden, the existence was highly localized, like it was just in one place. After the expulsion, they were put into the world that was a lot larger. And before Christ rose up to heaven, the gospel was only preached to Israel. Then after he was ascended, the gospel became available to everyone, the whole world, not just Israel.
Yeah. So in a nutshell,
so the way from day 1 to 3, light was very localized, and then after that, lights became everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe
so
I'm just thinking differently.
Yeah. No. No, I see what you're saying. So like, for instance, in the Garden of Eden, right, it says that there's one river that turned into 4 rivers, right?
Yes.
Right. So it's kind of going along with what you're saying. Like, you kind of see light and then you start seeing more light. And so, no, you're not wrong seeing it that way, because it's kind of like when you see Jesus breaking the bread, right? When you see him breaking bread, you see the big piece of bread, but then you see it being distributed. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So
it gets given up.
Yeah. So yeah, there's some truth there, but I mean, Does that mean that you can't take that truth and maybe go a little too far to the right or too far to the left? Yeah, of course you could. But let me tell you, meditating on the word is what causes you to ask questions. And that's what grows. So what you're doing is not wrong by asking yourself, okay, well, if the light was here and this was there. And again, it's, understanding how God sees is not a light switch. It's, you don't just go up to it and flick it and, shebang, everything's there. The Bible says it's here a little and it's there. The entire truth that you're looking for is not going to be found in Genesis 1. It's going to be found here a little and there a little. That's why I brought up Jesus holding a big piece of bread and out, because it was him that put himself in everything that was created, right? So there's other passages in the Bible in its entirety that you'll see this one little piece here, one little piece there that puts that together and what you're seeing. And if you get it wrong, right, because there's going to be times where you're going to feel like, oh yeah, that's exactly what that means. And while you're meditating over the word, you'll say, oh, wait a minute. That can't be true now, what I was thinking over here. And then yourself is going to say, well, why can't it? Well, because over here it says, and then so now you start studying something else to focus on a very specific part that you were already kind of like playing around with, and realize that you had something not quite right over here. But that's the fire, bro. That's the fire that's burning the things up that are not completely true, and it's forcing it to become a truth. And you're allowing God to slowly feed that truth, but using the rest of the Bible. So you don't compartmentalize Genesis 1 from the rest of the Bible, because you're going to get a lot of things wrong. It has to go along with the entire Bible, and it will. So far, what you're saying is right, right? That there's this light, and little by little you start seeing it becoming more of what it was, but like more pieces of it everywhere. And just remember, if you do get something wrong, right, and you're like, oh man, that wasn't right, bro, God doesn't fall off his throne and say, oh, well, Alex, good shot, bro, you really messed up. He don't fall off his throne. He already knows that we're not going to get everything when we first start studying it. So it's not something to worry about. It's just something that's going to continue to grow from that. But no, so in Genesis, we see light, right? And then we see lights. And then we learn that the name of this one angel was Lucifer. And then we learn these other things in the Bible where it's like, okay, well, nothing was made that was made without Christ. Nothing was. So then everything was made by the light. And then again, all this comes down because Jesus is holding this piece of bread. And when he came, he did on this earth what he always did in heaven, which was give himself to make other, if you want to say, other mini-means, right? That's why they came up with the name Christian, saying y'all are all little Christ, but they were mocking them. They were mocking them. They would say things like, you're just parroting what you're hearing. If you want to know when the flesh is doing its thing, all you have to do is take what the flesh is doing and go find it in the Bible, and you'll find it. That's all you have to do. And eventually it'll make sense, because it's the exact same thing. People do it all the time on here. They'll hear, man, I heard, man, it might have been yesterday, I think. Every once in a while I'll have some time to flip through the app. I don't have time to stare at the screen. I know somebody sent me a message saying, asking you a question when you're in that live. Man, sometimes I just turn it up, and I can't just stare at the screen. Like, I'm playing it because there's things that I'm trying to get done, but I can hear what's going on, but I'm not staring at the comments. I'm just doing my thing. But I'll hop into people's lives here and there. And it was yesterday. They were having a conversation, and I put a comment in there, and someone came up on the panel and they pretty much said what I said, but they didn't say it the exact same way. But it was pretty much the same thing. And the person said, "Oh, did you just say that because you saw Trot's comment?" And so there's people that can't wait to get you to stop saying something that's true, and they'll make it look like you're parroting, meaning you don't know what you're talking about. You're just saying it because Trot said it. Bro, they did this to Jesus all the time. Why do you think they called them Christians, which means little Christ? Like y'all just follow that dude around. Y'all just a bunch of little, y'all do. Bro, the Spirit has been using this tactic of shame. They want you to be ashamed of what you're saying, and they'll point to the person that they'll say, "Oh, that's where you're getting that from," as though where you're getting it from is nowhere but just some man that's a lunatic. They thought Jesus was just a crazy man. Oh, y'all just Christians. Y'all just little Christ. Well, they didn't understand that being a little Christ was a good thing. We're supposed to represent him. So I don't understand why Christians, they take this when people do this, this shaming. They think it's okay to shame and say, "Oh, are you just saying that because Trot said it, or that you're just saying that because that guy said it?" So the disciples, weren't they just because Jesus said it? Somebody help me out here. Is that not how this works? Every 5 years, does the Spirit change the gospel? Yeah. Does the gospel change every? I mean, are you supposed to be saying something different than Jesus? Are we supposed to be telling each other to love one another or not? Like, what are we supposed to be doing, right? So there's always going to be people who don't see eye to eye. And it's sad when they allow their Greek way of thinking and they try to find a scripture, which I've already had to debunk like 100 of them already. And what ended up happening is they were talking about themselves. And they thought they were talking about, something that, the other person was doing. And I'm like, that's not even what that verse ain't, don't even mean that. And so I go over it and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, that's not even what it means." And these people are using the Bible to try to disunite real Christians who are just trying to love one another. But yet they're using the Bible to try to disunite people, bro. It'll never stop. This is always going to happen. 10 decades from now, 2 centuries from now, if the world stays around that long, this will always be that the man you're listening to, that is nothing but a man. That man don't have the Spirit of God in him. It was the same thing with Jesus. You're just a man. You're nobody special. And the Spirit dwells in every person that is saved. And that person is no longer just a man. For any Christian to call another believer, "You're just a man," you're a liar. That person is not just a man. 1/3 of them is wall-to-wall Holy Ghost, 100%. And for you to tell another believer who is saved by Christ that they're just a man, no, a person who's not saved is just a man. We were all just mankind until we got saved. So don't allow someone to make you believe that you're just a man, that there's nothing special about you. That's Satan. That's not God that's saying that. When God tells you who you are, he says you're a peculiar people, a royal priesthood. So who's telling the truth? Are you royal priesthood or not? And then these Christians that don't understand what that means, they'll say, "Oh, well, no, you're royal priesthood because you're God, but you're just a man." They don't understand spirit, soul, and body. They don't understand that, not even a little bit. And it's you that's supposed to tell them that they need to be ashamed of themselves for not understanding the Bible and going against what God is saying about you. They're saying something completely different. So when people say, "Oh, Trot's just a man," you got man's doctrine. I don't understand. How do you not know how to stand up for yourself and say, Trot's saved, he's a man of God, and so you're saying that when Trot says something that's true, that I can't repeat what he's saying? Bro, that's not Christianity. I'm not sure if this person's even a Christian, because they're more focused on where you're getting your information. They're not focused on whether it's true or not. And so there's a problem there. Let me see. Angel Marie, what? You know what's funny is being accused of getting it from you when we just stay in the Bible on the same page. Oh, yeah. Yeah, bro. Yeah, no, I know. Yeah. So it's like someone, understands basically the person saying that they understand the Bible, like they're on the same page of understanding, and they're ministering or talking to someone, and then someone comes out and be like, "Oh, you're just saying that because God said it." Are you just saying that's like what, bro? When people say that, that's how you can finally start seeing how clever Satan is. How do you get someone to stop spreading a truth? You just make that person feel like that what they're saying means nothing because where you got it from and all this. Listen, people will always ask, where'd you get that truth from? And I always tell them, what does it matter? Either it's true or it's not. Oh, well, I don't believe it's true. Well, then why do you care where I got it from? You have to ask them, why do you care where I got it from if you don't think it's true? Oh, well, because no. There is a reason that they want to know where you got it from, because they've already made up their mind on who they're going to hate against and who they're not. So if you say, oh, well, I don't like it out, but I've already had dozens of people apologize for, and nothing's going to change. This is the truth, and it's the same way that Paul saw, and there is no other way to see. Everybody don't get to see it whatever way they want to. Eventually, you're going to have to come to the idea what soil, land, earth is talking about in the Bible in its entirety. You're going to have to come to a conclusion of that. And the story that you're trying to sell, if it doesn't line up with the soils and the lands that the Bible's talking about, people are going to be able to tell that something's wrong with what you're saying because it's not lining up with the lands and the soils and the earths, the hearts. It's not lining up. Trying to do is they're trying to talk about every other topic, and they're leaving this part alone. But eventually, my friend, you're going to have to come back to Eden. You're going to have to come back to the trees. You're going to have to come back to the hearts, to the soils, to the lands and earths that the Bible's mentioning. So you can go ahead and have fun and talk about all these other topics, but the day's going to come where that topic's going to have to come up, and all you're doing is kicking against the pricks. There is no refuting. When I start talking about eating, and there's no refuting it. 100% there's not. And what a lot of these people, for whatever reason that they weren't able to see this, they hate brought it up is what's happening. And Jesus was always hated because the words that he spoke, it pierced, and it made them upset. They did not what he was saying. And so don't be discouraged that you become descaled and you can see what the Bible is saying now. And from there, you're growing. Don't allow someone to come behind you like a little serpent trying to take a truth away from you, being used by Satan, and they don't even realize it. So, don't be discouraged about that.
So real quick before I let someone else ask.
Yeah, go ahead, Al.
Would it be all right to say that the Bible? Would it be all right to say that the Bible itself is a repetition? Like it's a repetition of patterns, just the way we say everything in the Old Testament is just a shadow of Christ.
Yeah. Well, what we can say is, there are God 100%. Jesus did use certain things as a pattern. There are certain things that are like a pattern, but the only person that would see these patterns is a person that's using their heart, not a person who's just reading. You go ask someone, how long have you been reading the Bible? 30 years. And you're like, oh, 30 years. And they're telling you they can't see this. Now, let me ask, how could this pattern not be seen? How could it not be seen? Well, number one, you would first have to understand what the certain thing is representing, right? Like, for instance, trees being angels and people. Wouldn't you first have to know what they meant first?
Of course.
Okay, so now that you can see what it is, now you can pick up the pattern. You can't pick up the pattern before.
No, God.
Right.
No.
So if we're talking about the word land, soil, earth, or desolate ground, dry ground, you see all these, it's all referring to a heart in the entire Bible. Now, place in its black and white letter context, right? And so was walking the path and it was dry ground. Bro, it means the guy was walking on dry ground in real life, period. But when you start understanding what these lands are talking about, it helps you in a spiritual context. You can see what's happening in the story. You can see. So, but first, spiritually, you have to understand what these things mean. Only through the Spirit can you see what they mean. And only through the Spirit will you see this pattern. Because in the physical black letters and white page, there is no pattern, bro. There's no pattern whatsoever. It just says that the guy was walking on.
You can just see.
Yeah, there's no pattern. It's the Spirit that shows the pattern. Your physical eyes and mind do not see a pattern at all, not even a little bit. So when you're telling someone this and they're very carnally minded and they're like, well, you're thinking that God makes things in patterns? And what they're asking is, with their carnal mind and their eyes, you think God is showing us carnal patterns? That's what they're saying. And the answer is no, bro. If it was all based on carnal patterns, people would be saying exactly what I'm saying. If it was based on carnal patterns, Paul wouldn't have had to meet Jesus on the road to Damascus. You don't think Paul would have carnally picked up the patterns with his carnal mind, bro? No. It's because there's parables within parables, man. He saw the parable of the mountains. In the Bible, there is a spiritual parable, the parable of the mountains. And God is asking, what do all these mountains mean? Let me tell you something. Somebody take me anywhere. Somebody take me anywhere in the Bible where somebody is seeing something and God is asking.
Elijah at the mountain.
Okay, fine. Let's go. Okay, but God's asking them, what is this? I want to see, listen, I want to see God asking, hey, what does this mean? I want to see God asking that question. I could think of 10 of them right now in my head. Which one y'all want to go to? I'm only going to go to the one that somebody brings up. Because God asks questions while you're reading the Bible. He'll ask you, hey, what does this mean? He'll ask you. But if you ain't listening, then you don't know what he's asking. You just think you're supposed to just keep reading the Bible. Nobody can find one? You talked about Moses and the staff yesterday. Yeah, I did.
Exodus 4:5. God asks Moses, what is that in your hand?
No, that's not good enough. No, that's too easy. Okay. No. Oh, is that Passion? Is that why?
Jesus Tree of Life.
Hold on a second. Passion. That's why Passion brought that up. No, come on. Too easy. You say Hulk?
I said, you mean like Jesus Tree of Life? Like
no. I'm talking. Listen. In the black letters in the white page, show me where Jesus or God, I'm sorry, let me just say God, where God is saying to, what does this mean? Do you know what this is? Cornerstone said Zechariah. Hey, Saba hits the big one. Job. The whole book. All right, Job's fair, but let me see what. I don't remember what that is off the top of my head.
I was going to say Samson. No, Samson.
No, there's a lot of them, bro. But I'm telling you, people don't understand that when you're reading the Bible, if you slow down, the Spirit will ask you, hey, what does that mean? It'll ask you. It will. And if the Spirit's not asking you that, then I'm kind of afraid what you're claiming you know. What you're claiming you know, that means that you went to Dr. So-and-so, read his book. Oh, well, Dr. So-and-so, I'll argue Dr. So-and-so's truth against Trott's truth any day. Well, you fail yourself at that, because if that's a man of God, then we're going to meet in the middle to a truth. and you look like a fool. You'll always come out as a fool. All right, let's see.
Does Ezekiel count, or some like, can these bones live? Is that like what you're looking for?
No. Where God is saying, what does this mean? What do you see? What is that? Like that. Let me see what Zechariah.
Oh, okay.
Let me see what Zechariah. I think he said
on Samson. He asked. The riddle was a riddle.
No. It has to be God asking. Like, you have to know for a fact that it's God. It's God. You'll know it's God because it says in God asked. God
not
said.
Revelation.
Oh
Not
no, we ain't going to
Revelation.
Revelation. Absolutely not. All right, let's see.
The book of
Zechariah
Revelation,
4:2.
not us have a Revelation.
Huh? What?
Not the book of Revelation. Us having Revelation. That's who's talking.
Yeah, Zechariah 4:2 is a good one.
All right, let's see. The candlestick. Yeah. No, that is a good one. So Cornerstone, appreciate that. All right, so let's just start with one. And remember, because what I'm going over, remember, this is all because Alex is asking about light in chapter 1 of Genesis. He's like, hey, am I seeing this right or what? So he's like, look, there's a light. And then you start going further down, there's more lights. Like, isn't that like, obviously God make of God, right? God's making them more lights. Yeah, but it's just not focused on just take to the two trees. Yeah, so all right, well, let me get there. All right. But I'm showing you, God shows that he'll ask you a question, man. He'll ask you. So says, and the angel that talked with me, who's the me here? What book are we in? I want someone to at least answer that.
Yeah.
Who is this me?
Zechariah, no?
I don't know. Is it, guys? We in agreement?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Why are you asking these questions?
Yeah, well, no. I want to make sure. I want to make sure we know that it says, and the angel that talked with me, Zechariah, okay, came again and walked with me as a man that is waken out of his sleep. So this man came to me as if he was wakened from his sleep and said unto me, what see? I'm telling you, if you are not hearing that question, hey, what do you see right there? What does that mean? I don't know any other way to say this. If you are not hearing that question when you're reading the Bible, you are going too fast. Maybe you're studying too much Greek and Hebrew. Maybe that's your problem. Maybe you need to be focused more on the Bible. Focus more on the Bible, on the word. Greek and Hebrew is not the word of God. It's a language. You'll get a lot of pats on the back because you know how to break down every letter, but you need to focus on the word. What is your goal here? Is it to get pats on the back because you help someone pronounce a word better? That's not how you pronounce that. You didn't pronounce that word right. That's what you want, because you're not going to get the pats on the back from God because someone mispronounced a word. You're not going to get any pats on the back. If the goal is to help people understand the word, you don't do that by focusing 90% of your time on Aramaic, Greek, and Hebrew. If you want to bring people to the word, you focus on the word, right? If I want to be a better batter playing baseball, I don't focus on pop flies in the outfield. I focus on holding the bat, the pitcher throwing the ball, and me going over drills that help me become a better batter. You know, it's funny. Some people are so focused on being educated, they forget principles of learning. Whatever it is you want to be good at, that's what you have to do. That specific thing. You want to see more shadows of Christ? You better slow down. You better slow down and let the Spirit ask you questions about what? And I say this all the time because the Spirit is going to ask questions about the most insignificant thing, bro. The thing that looks like doesn't need any attention. That's when you'll hear, hey, what is that? It's a good question. Hey, how about this? How about this question? Why does Moses need a staff? What do you mean? I mean, God gave him the staff. Yeah, but why does he need it? Couldn't God just, well, yeah, he could, but God doesn't just microwave things. Oh my God, there's a reason he has a staff. Oh crap. Boom. Looks so insignificant that your flesh is not going to ask you, well, why the staff? Your flesh is not. Why? Because you're reading it fast. If you slow down and read like this, and the angel that talked with me came again and waked me as a man that is waken out of a sleep. Notice it says that is waken out of a sleep. Does that mean he was sleeping and he got woken up? Was Zechariah sleeping, guys? Was he sleeping and got woken up? No. So now the Spirit's asking, hey, where else do you see, like something? Where else do you see this? That is weird. Why do you, like God, why do you always...
Like blood.
Yeah. Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane and it said he sweated. His sweat was like drops of blood, like drops of blood, not blood, like drops of blood. The dove ascended on Jesus, but it says like a dove, not a dove. The Spirit was like a dove. So now it says, he says, and again, and waked me as a man that is wakened out of a sleep. So when God started asking you questions, spiritual questions, did he ask your flesh? Or was it the part of you that awakened, like if you've been sleeping?
Sleeping.
He woke up the part of you that was dead. A dead spirit came alive.
Right, but you're not dead. You were asleep. Right?
Right. But right.
Right. Now we know
the association of sleep with death.
Right. So again, look how the words are used. Seems insignificant, but very significant if you just slow down. One truth will lead to another truth. So you have to understand the difference between death and sleep. You have to understand, why would Zechariah be writing this down in a way? He goes, man, he kind of woke me like a man wakes up from sleep. And then that part of him that's awake, God's asking questions to, right? God's not asking your flesh the question. He's asking something else, a question. Right? All right. So, but it says, he waked me as a man that is awakened out of a sleep and said unto me, who? The one that's awake. What seest thou? Why is he asking that thing that just woke up? What do you see? So does the Spirit ask the flesh what you see? Or does God already know that thing don't see right?
Yeah, he already knows.
All right. So we go back to the garden, and God planted every tree that was pleasant to the sight. Pleasant to whose sight?
Sight.
Huh?
Spiritual sight.
God's sight. God's sight. Sight, seeing, eyes. There's two sights, two eyes, two pleasant. Two pleasant sights. The flesh has its pleasant sight. The Spirit has its pleasant sight. Their enmity, which means the pleasantness of one is not the pleasantness of the other. So he says, after he awakens him, he says, what seest thou? Not seeing this, then in the garden, pleasant means nothing. It means a lot, a whole lot. And when the tree became what? Good for food and pleasant to the eyes. It says, and when it did. It's not the same pleasant. that God is using. So people will go to Hebrew. It's the same word. No. You're missing context. In the Bible, the spirit and flesh are enmity. That's the context you're missing. It's not about whether or not it's the same Hebrew word or not. Oh, well, actually, they're different words. It doesn't matter still. There's other context in the Bible in its entirety. You can't just let go and leave out, my friend. Spirit and flesh are enmity. And you're like, well, what are you saying? Man, it's not hard what I'm saying. She's believing a lie. If she's believing a lie, what is... If it's a lie, then it's not of God. Therefore, it's not the pleasantness of God, man. It's not hard. It's a lie in a different pleasant way. That's what it means. It's from the beginning. Right? All this because Alex is asking about a light that turns into more lights. So when you start seeing that way, it's the same part of you that God asks more questions. God's not asking your flesh what you think. I promise. It doesn't care. It doesn't care. The spirit does not care what the flesh thinks. So it says, waking out of a sleep and said unto me, what seest thou? And I said, I have looked, and behold, a candlestick, all of gold. So he's telling him what he sees. Not his flesh. His flesh is not seeing the candlestick. This is what you have to understand. Even if you were to put Zechariah in the temple looking at the physical candlestick, this is not what he's explaining. Don't misunderstand what's being said here. He said, I behold a candlestick all of gold. Okay, physically, what is that? What is the candlestick all of gold physically? Anybody?
Menorah, man.
The menorah. That's what it is. It's the menorah.
Yep.
He said, with a bowl upon the top of it, and it says, and his 7 lamps thereon, and 7 pipes to the 7 lamps, which are upon the top thereof. It's the menorah. And it says, and 2 olive trees by it. 2 olive trees by it. Now remember, he's explaining what he's seeing right now. He says 2 olive trees by it, one upon the right side of the bowl, and the other upon the left side. So I answered, and I spake to the angel that talked with me, saying, what are these, my Lord? You're reading the Bible? Hey, what is that? I don't know, Lord. What is it? And look at the answer. Then the angel that talked with me answered and said unto me, knowest thou not what these be? Now let me ask you something. When Jesus told the parable of the sower, did the disciples know what it meant?
Nope.
What did he say? What he
said?
Somebody go to Mark 4. Somebody go to Mark 4, and let's just see if Jesus answers in the same manner, like same behavior as this angel. Let's just see.
Yeah, well, he's basically, somebody's looking it up, but basically he's just like, you're supposed to know this by now. I've been with you.
Yeah.
You still don't get it.
Yeah. Who's going to read it?
Mark 4 from 1.
No. Find the part. Somebody find the part where the disciples go up to him after he tells the parable, and they're asking him about the parable. And I want to hear them ask, and I want to hear Jesus answer.
Verse 10, chapter 4.
All right.
But when he was alone, those around him with the 12 asked him about the parable. And he said to them, to you it has been given to know the mystery of the kingdom of God. But to those who are outside, all things come in parables, so that seeing they may see and not perceive, and hearing they may hear and not understand. lest they should turn and their sins be forgiven them.
What did you read, Alex?
The purpose of the parable. Is it? Do you want me to go from verse 13 where you understand this parable?
No. I want you
How
to
then
start.
will you understand?
Yeah,
all
no, but
parables?
I want you to read where they're asking him. So go to. Okay, what verse did you end? Maybe I'll jump the gun. What verse did you end?
I ended in verse 12.
Okay. But I need the one where they're asking, they're showing they don't understand. Where's that at? Are you in Mark?
In Mark 4.
Okay, I thought it was in Mark. Where is it where they're showing that they don't understand? Maybe it's in a different book. I apologize. I thought it was in Mark 4. Mark 4 is where he's saying what you're about to say. But verse 13, okay, maybe I did jump the gun. Go ahead and read verse 13.
And he said to them, do you not understand this parable? How then will you understand all parables?
Hold on a second. Hey, hold on a second. Read 10 again. Maybe I'm confused about something. Read 10 or read 9. No, read 9 and 10, please, Alex.
Yep, verse 9, he said, and he said to them, he who has ears, let him hear. Verse 10, but when he was alone, those around him with the 12 asked him about the parable.
Okay.
And he said to them,
okay, look, Cornerstone said in Matthew, they're more like, it shows. So obviously they're asking because they don't understand, correct? And he says, know you not this parable. Keep that page right there, Alex, but go to Matthew. Somebody, where's it at in Matthew? The parable that we're going.
I'm on it. Matthew 13, bro. I'm on it. Give me a second.
All right.
Parable of the sower. I just got to change versions here because I'm in the wrong version. I hate when it does. Give me just a second.
Verse 10 there also.
Oh, 10. They're saying it's Matthew 10.
No.
Chapter
okay.
13, but Matthew 13 says it's the parable of the sower. Yeah, and it says, the disciples came to him and said, why speakest thou in parables? And he answered them and said, because it is given to you the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but not whosoever has. Okay, so verse 13 says, therefore I speak to them in parables because they seeing see not, and hearing hear not, neither do they understand. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which saith, by hearing these shall. Is that what you're that's what you're looking for?
Yeah, keep going. No, keep going. Keep reading.
Okay. And it says, and in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which says, by hearing ye shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing ye shall not perceive. For this person's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes have closed, lest at any time they should see for their eyes, see with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should not be converted. I shall heal them.
All right. Somebody said,
blessed are the eyes.
Hey, hold on. Yeah, we can. Yeah, blessed are the eyes. Somebody said Matthew 16:11. What is that? Matthew 16. Why do I feel like that's not?
Matthew 16:11 says, how is it that ye not understand that I spake it not to you concerning bread, that ye should beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and Sadducees?
Yeah, I don't know. That ain't got nothing to do with what we're talking about. But either way, let's go back to so Mark 4. Yeah, so Matthew shows a part of it, Mark 4. But the point is, go to 13, Alex, on Mark 4 and start reading right there.
And he said to them, do not understand this parable? How then will you understand all the parables?
Yeah.
The sower sows the word.
Yeah, no, we don't have to go over that part, but he does point out, if you don't know this parable, how then? But he's not happy. You could tell a lot of the times Jesus is not happy when they don't understand something. He tells him, you don't understand this parable? Then how then? But notice his attitude. He's not holding their hand and babying them. He's literally saying, how do you not understand what this means? So look at the characteristic of this angel that's talking to Zechariah. And he says, and this is in 5, he says, then the angel that talked with me answered and said unto me, knowest thou not what these be? And I said, no, my Lord. Then he answered and spake unto me, saying, this is the word of the Lord to Zerubbabel. But he says, you don't know? You don't know what this is? I don't think people pay enough attention to what just happened here. Why would this angel ask this man, you don't know what these are? You don't know what this is?
It was basically Jesus asking.
Well, before we get into who it is, what I'm pointing out is, why would an angel ask a man that? Why would he question, like, he says, what do you see? Oh, well, I see this and I see that. Is not Zechariah telling him what he sees?
He was.
Was the answer correct? No, y'all don't understand what I'm saying?
Or was the angel wondering, like, how can you see me but not this?
Well, no, I don't want to go that far. Just listen to what I'm saying. So he says, what seest thou? Right? The angel asked him in 2, what do you see? He says, I have looked and behold, and he tells everything that he sees all the way to the end of 4. And then he says, and 2 olive trees. He explains the olive trees, one on the right side, one on the left side. And he says, so I answered and spoke to the angel that talked with me, saying, what are these, my Lord? So he's telling him what he sees. And then he says, what are they? The angel talked with me, answered and said unto me, knowest thou not what these be? And I said, no. So he sees something, but he doesn't know what it is. So he asks, hey, well, what is it? So you don't know what it is? So already you see 2 things wrong, bro. You see 2 things wrong already. Because the Bible tells us that they see, but they see not. They hear, but they hear not. So there's people that see the black letters on a white page, but they still can't see. There's people that read scripture all the time, but they still can't hear. And so here Zechariah's like, hey, I'll tell you what I see. A candlestick, trees, like, but you're asking me, what do I see? Well, I'm telling you what I see. So when people read the tabernacle or the temple, don't they read about the menorah? The candlestick? If you were to tell someone, go read the description of the temple, and they read it to you, the description of the temple, would it be okay if they didn't ask, what does it mean? Are you supposed to ask what things mean in the Bible or not?
Yes.
So Zechariah knows, he sees a candlestick, he sees some trees, he knows. But how does he know to ask, what does it mean? How come he just don't say, oh, that's what it is, candlestick and some trees?
He didn't want to go off his own understanding.
No, but what I'm saying is he knew it meant more than just a candlestick and trees is the point I'm making. There are people that will tell you, no, it's just a candlestick and trees. It has no other further meaning. That's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm making. So when you're showing somebody means in the Bible and they go, bro, it don't say none of that. It just says candlestick and trees. It don't mean none of that. Just candlestick and some trees. That's it. Oh, Lord. Maybe they need to be waiting. Maybe. How about that? Excuse me. All right, so let's get to what the angel said real quick. Do you know what these are? He said, no. He said, this is 6. So we're in Zechariah chapter 4, verse 6. This is the word of the Lord unto Zerubbabel, saying, not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord of hosts. What does it mean, not by might? What does that mean?
Flesh.
Yeah, not by your power. That's what it means. Not by your power. It says, not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord. Ain't that funny? That's the first thing he says that he sees, because he's saying that the menorah represents the Spirit of God, right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So show me in the Proverbs or the Psalms, show me in the Proverbs or the Psalms where God uses a candlestick to look at the most inner parts of a man. Where's that verse at? I'm about to find it.
I think I got it. Hold on, let me
Yeah.
read it. Yeah, so Proverbs 20:27 says, the spirit of a man is the candle of the Lord, searching all the inward parts of the belly.
Yeah, that's the menorah, the candle, right? So, let's see. Hold on a minute. Okay. Yeah. All right. And it says, who art thou, O great mountain, before Zerubbabel? Thou shalt become a plain. So here's the mountain. So if you don't understand the parable of the mountains in the Old Testament, now we went too far for you. Yeah, the menorah is the spirit. All right. Who art thou, O great mountain? What? Mountain? What? What are we talking about? Mountains. If you don't understand the parable of the mountains, then you're still now there. You know, you went back to the old man, because you didn't stay in the spirit long enough, right? So the longer you stay in the spirit, studying, letting the spirit ask you questions, letting the spirit show you, just like this right here, what certain things mean in the Bible, you won't be confused. But because you're more focused on Greek and Hebrew and you won't give God a chance, you're still allowing your carnal mind to rule. Your carnal mind's your king, and that's how you're going to stay smart, with your carnal mind. Well, guess what? I give you a pat on the back. Good job. Awesome job. But if you were a true spiritual nerd, you would be answering questions that the Spirit is asking. That's what you would be doing. Who art thou, O great mountain? Before Zerubbabel, there shalt become a plain, or thou shalt become a plain, and he shall bring forth the headstone thereof with shoutings, crying, grace, grace unto it. Wow. Huh. Now, I'm just curious. Hold on. All right. He says, thereof of shoutings of grace, grace. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, the hands of Zerubbabel have laid the foundation of this house. His house shall also finish it. His hand shall also finish it. And thou shalt know that the Lord of hosts has sent me unto you. Huh. You'll know that the Lord of hosts sent me unto you. For who hath despised the day of small things? For they shall rejoice and shall see the plummet in the hand of Zerubbabel with those 7. They are the eyes of the Lord, which run to and fro through the whole earth, right? So there's 2 of everything in the Bible. 2. There's 2. The Bible says that Satan goes to seeking out who he may devour. And the Bible says right here that, let's see if I can go back to where I was. 10. So the candlestick are the 7 eyes of the Lord, which run to and fro through the whole earth. Then answered I, Zechariah, and said unto him, what are these 2 olive trees upon the right side of the candlestick and upon the left side? And I answered again and said unto him, what be those 2 olive? So he says, what are these 2 olive trees? And he says, and what be the 2 olive branches, which through the 2 golden pipes empty the golden oil of themselves? And he answered me and said, knowest thou not what these be? Bro, listen. God is expecting you to know what these things are. So sitting there and trying to lie to God and act like that crazy old trot didn't come across you to show you something that you're supposed to know, but instead you murder me in your heart. You murder me in your heart and act like you were never told that what you're supposed to be seeing. I know. But again. All right. So he says again, and he answered me and said, knowest thou not what these be? And I said, no, my Lord. Then he said, these are the 2 anointed ones that stand by the Lord of the whole earth. Right. These are the 2 anointed ones. Now, people would say, well, what are the 2 anointed ones? Well, we're not going to talk about who the 2 anointed ones are today. And there's a reason for that. I don't feel like arguing. But I will say, if you're familiar with the Bible,
come on.
I will say that if you're familiar with the Bible, that you'll have no problem understanding who the 2 anointed ones are, right? Because the point right now is not about the 2 anointed ones. The point is that I wanted to get to and this is one of the ones that I actually had in my head. I just can't remember where it was at. But where God or angel, right, is asking a man, what is this? Or what is that? Or you don't know what that is? What do you see? You don't know what that is? That's what I was looking for. And this is a good one right here. But going back to why I brought this up, because we were at, where were we before we went to Zechariah?
Lights, Genesis 1.
No, after that.
We're talking about
No,
Mark
so
4.
lights is what were you saying, Alex?
Mark 4, the parable of the
Yeah,
sower.
we're at the parable. Right. So Jesus says, because the disciples are asking him about that parable, and he's like, you don't know this parable? Well, how then? Look what he tells them. How then shall you know all other parables? You know, I took that serious. I'm telling you right now. When I saw that Jesus said, how then shall you know all other parables? And I went looking and I could not find another parable that Jesus said this about. This was the only parable that he said this about. It took me a long time. But, you know, I'm not going to Google, does Jesus say, no. I went and looked at all of them. Took me several hours, like 10, like literally a whole day almost. I had to make sure. And I was certain that he did not say this about any other parable. Not like this. Not like this, he didn't. So he said, know ye the parable of the sower. And so I went, I'm not kidding, for a full month, 12-hour days, not a day off. It wasn't 5 days a week, 7 days a week. And I tore into this parable, and it literally revolutionized the way I see the entire Bible, period. So he wasn't kidding. If you don't understand that parable, you're not going to understand the rest of the parables. And he's not just saying the ones that are called parables. And Jesus told the parable that that's not what he's talking about. That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about the way that this angel asked Zechariah, what do you see? Can you imagine the Spirit, every time you read the Bible, the Spirit saying, what do you see? What do you see? And you're like, nothing. You don't see nothing. I see a candlestick and some trees, God, and God is awesome. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Have no idea what they just read. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I appreciate it. Appreciate what? You prideful fool. You don't see nothing. What are you talking about? What are you thankful of? Well, Jesus saved me. Well, you're right about that. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong to thank him for that. But you just read the Bible for 45 minutes and you're still thanking him for being saved. That's it. That's it. You've been saved 10 years and that's all you think. I'm going to tell you something. We get to heaven. You're not going to just be sitting there thanking to be saved. I don't know if you ain't figured that out yet. It's all you're going to be thankful for is that he came back and brought me to. Do you think you're going to be in heaven giving a testimony of your Freddy Cougar life? Is that what you think? You think you're going to be in heaven? Oh, I just want to thank Lord. He brought me out of a hard time. You think you're going to be up there making people cry with your testimony? You need to wake the heck up, man. You need to wake the heck up. You need a spiritual slap or something. You need to wake up. God has called you more than you coming out of that horrible life that you lived in for a few years, a vapor in the wind. And you keep allowing your flesh, you keep believing that right there made your life. Your whole life revolves around that hard time. I don't care what the hard time was. I don't care. I don't care if a shark bit one of your arms off, your legs off, and then the rest of your life, that's all your life is about. It's talking about how you got bit by a shark. No, I'm sorry. You're not called a royal priesthood because some physical shark took an arm. Now, if you think I'm saying that wouldn't be a hard life, missing one of your limbs when you're so used to it, you're missing the whole point that I'm making. I have friends that had limbs blown off in Iraq. So don't lecture me about understanding people or knowing people. No, I know them. Okay. When I came back from war, my mind, I was not the same person. I'll never be that same dude that left a small town and went to this place over here. And my mind's full of all these things that I've seen. You gonna hear me crying about it every day? No, I've already given that to the Lord. Lord's already given me a real testimony. Not a crying my heart out. I still act like I'm 10 years old and I can't move on. You need to move on. That is not supposed to be, your whole life is not supposed to be based on your hard time. How is Satan getting the glory of who you're claiming you are? You talk more about him and your horror story and you do anything else. Listen, just because people talk with the soft voice don't mean that they're being soft. No. I know a lot of people who talk very calm and they're very soft, but in their mind, they're murdering you 10,000 ways. You can miss me with all that junk, soft voice nonsense. You can miss me with all of it. This Bible is not trying to show you how you're supposed to talk about your sad, horrible life. Everybody got it. I don't understand these people that think they're unique and somehow their life is just different than everybody else. Your life is no different. We all were born here. We all got to deal with all the junk that goes around here. And you go read the Bible that was written, physically written but it was authored. And you're going to tell me that he wasn't smart enough to write it in a way that would mock the flesh and uplift God. That's what you're telling me. The whole Bible don't do that. That's when you hear people say, the whole Bible's not parables. My friend, you've been lied to. I'm sorry. Yes, it is. The whole Bible is telling two complete perfect truths. Two. One, the stories of man. They all existed. They're all real. They're not fake. The parables and the allegorical truths that Jesus put in there, they're not fake. Paul the Apostle did not believe that Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar were fake. He didn't believe that. He believed they were real people, but he still called their story like an allegory. Don't you understand? Like an allegory. So when people say allegorical truths and you hear, well, allegory is fake. Paul believed in Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar. He believed that they were real people. So it's not that kind of allegory. Lee. Let's see. Beck, what do you say? Ooh, trot sounding esoteric, Gnostic-ish. What? I'm sounding what? These names from, bro?
Esoteric.
She said esoteric.
What the? What? Oh my Lord! Hey Beck. Hey, don't tell us in the spirit. Tell us in the flesh. What is that? What's an esoteric Gnostic? What is that? I'm gonna give you your circle on this one.
Esoteric basically means it's only meant for a select few. Only a select few of people can truly see it. Gnostic means that you need to know this special knowledge in order to know the truth.
Let me see. You look for deeper understanding. Well, let me ask you, Beck. When Paul said that Sarah and Hagar were mountains, was he looking for deeper understanding, or is it just true? I'm just curious. Was he looking for deeper understanding, or is it just true? Let me see. You don't stay at surface. Well, is everything in the Bible surface level, Beck? Let me hear you. I'm just trying to see. Is surface level the only truth in the Bible? No? Okay. All right. I didn't know what you meant by that. So no worries. So, so there's a lot of little clever names that, I got to go look at that one again. Let me see. Yeah, no, I know what Gnosticism is. Yeah, no, I know what Gnosticism. Yeah, all physical is bad. Yeah, so Beck, I don't know why you would use that Gnosticism, like Gnostic. No, all physical is not bad, but all physical is not the only truth, right? Trot sounds. What is it? Esoteric. Yeah, esoteric. You guys are a trip. Let me see. Was it just to be true? Okay. I had questions about, but don't study. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, no. Let me see. Not saying what. Not saying you embrace all of their doctrine, just appreciate your perspective. Yeah. No, I didn't mean it in any bad way. That first word, esoteric, man, I'm looking through my archives. I'm like, I don't think I even heard that word before. But yeah, so okay, so the Bible is true both ways. Okay, all the physical stories are true. It is true. For the longest, people who like atheists, right? Like a lot, not just atheists, but a lot of people who believe that the Bible's rubbish, right? A lot of atheist people were laughing at the fact that we had no physical evidence of King David ever being on the world until, we unearthed. I mean, now there's mountains of proof that King David existed, right? So, yeah, no, Beck, you're good. I don't take offense very easily. So, I just didn't understand your point that you were making. That's all. But now that I, read some of my fellow buddies' comments, I understand the point you were making. But no, so even if you were saying something bad, I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's no big deal. Like I always say, there's always going to be people who disagree, and it's up to you how you handle that. I don't care who disagrees. I really don't bother me. But but the Bible is both true, right? Surface level. It's true. Abraham, Sarah, Hagar, these are real people. Jacob was real. All right. Manasseh, Ephraim, Joseph, these were all real. This is all real. But the problem is when people say that is all that's there. That's a problem, because that is not true. If that was true, then Paul the Apostle is a liar, because Paul said that Sarah and Hagar represent mountains. Do you understand? That there's a duality, there's a dual meaning in the life of Sarah and Hagar. And the entire Bible is this way. And so what people say is, well, if the entire Bible is this way, it has to be 100% that way. That's not true either. You don't tell God where he puts symbolism and where he doesn't. But what you can do is, when someone is claiming that they understand a lot of this, you'll see a lot of consistency in what they're saying. Now, I agree. So you're going to try to find, inconsistency, just like an Islamic believer and a Christian, how they have I think the most ridiculous time you can spend is arguing over how consistent or inconsistent your book is compared to their book. And then 4 hours went by, nobody's edified. The other side don't even care what you just said. They were just wanting people to pat them on the back because they sound smarter and used big words. And basically they over Greekalized. They out Greeked you, somebody out Greek you, I'm just more smart. I use my words better. Okay, go write a book, bro. Like, either you're going to bring people to life, or you're just going to be arguing about your philosophy and your theology, which those things don't bring anybody to life. They never did. They never will. Let me see. Beck said Mount Sinai, versus Mount Zion. Yeah, so Paul tells us, now you got to understand, Beck, in the Old Testament, it doesn't say that. The Old Testament doesn't have parentheses next to Sarah and Hagar's name, and it says, oh, by the way, Sarah is Mount Zion and Hagar is Mount Sinai. It doesn't say that. So, Beck, let me ask you, where did Paul get that from? Did he just read too much into Scripture? Let me see what Beck thinks about that. Beck, where do you think Paul got that from? If the Scripture itself doesn't say that, was Paul or did he see the duality? I need to go make me some coffee. Them 12 ounces is not enough. We're over here hating. We're over here hating at this. It's a wee one. It is. I wish this sucker was a 22 ouncer.
You need like 8 cups.
I need like 8 of those. I still need French fries. He saw it in himself.
He saw it in himself.
What do you mean he saw it in himself, Beck? So listen to my question. It didn't say, or let me say this. Do you, Beck, do you have a version of the Bible that like has parentheses and it says like Sarah represents Mount Zion and Hagar represents Mount Sinai? Do you have like a scriptures that we don't have, or? Yeah, you promised. What? Hope, what are you talking about? He was raised under Mount Sinai. Yeah, but my question to you is, where did he? So are you saying? Let me ask you this: did Paul make this up? Did he make it up? That's what I'm asking you. Did Paul make it up that Sarah represented Mount Zion and Hagar represents Mount Sinai? Did he make that up? Hope, it was a joke. No, I know, but I don't get the joke. What'd I say? But you had French fries. You said I'm still waiting on my French fries. What I say about French fries? So Beck, my question is, did Paul make it up? That's what I want to know. Did he make it up on his own? Beck. No. At the Holy Spirit. Sorry. No. I'm asking you, yes or no? All make it up. That's what I'm asking you. You promised French fries and I didn't recall. Oh, my bad. I'm not saying nothing about the Holy Spirit. I'm just asking a question. No, he didn't. All right. So where do you think he got it from then? So if he didn't make it up, or let me ask you this. I'm not asking where he got it. Is he telling the truth? Is Paul telling the truth that when the Bible was written way back then, that Sarah was always represented Mount Sinai and Hagar always represented, Sarah represented Mount Zion and Hagar represented Mount Sinai. This is my question. Was that always true the day that it was written down, Beck? That's what I'm asking you. Was it always true? I don't think not sure where he got it from. Yes, he is telling the truth. Okay, so true. Was it always true, though? I'm just curious. So the day that the man took the pen and was writing the story down of Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar, it was always true. All right, well, clearly that's the Spirit. So what you meant by he got it from within himself, well, he got it from the Spirit. There's only two, your flesh and your spirit. So if he didn't make it up and it is true, and Jesus said, my words are spirit and truth, then he got it from the Spirit because you agree it's true. So there's no debate in that. Yes, even before creation. Right. It was always true. Right. There was always a Mount Zion and a Mount Sinai. Always. There was always a truth in that. Always. It's always true. Let me see. All right, what time is it? 12:30. All right. Let me see. All right, man. Hey, has anybody got something before we bounce? It's already about to be 1:00, man. I got to bounce off of her.
We go over my question tomorrow.
What's your question?
The 2 Samuel.
You're being vague. What?
It's in 2 Samuel where Ahimaaz are reading and takes him down into the well and covers it up in 17.
All right, let me see. 2 Samuel 17. 2 Samuel.
We can go through it tomorrow.
No, I know. I'm just gonna look at it real. All right, so 2 Samuel 18. Hold on. Yeah, Absalom. Hold on. Yeah, okay.
17. Yeah, starting. Yeah.
Yeah, so we got Absalom.
2 Samuel 17, starting in like 15.
Oh, starting
even if you Yeah. Now Jonathan and Ahimaaz were winning it, and we'll go.
Okay, hold on. So 2 Samuel 17, what?
You can probably start at 17.
17. Oh yeah.
Going through.
Yeah. Okay.
19.
Yeah. Right.
Covers it with grain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is your main part where it says the woman took and spread the covering over the well's mouth and spread the ground, corn thereof, and the thing was not known? That part?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
What about it?
I was looking at wondering why it was that and not any of the other things that are mentioned in the later verses, like 28 through 29, where it talks about basin, earthen vessels, wheat, barley, flour, parched grain, beans, and lentils.
Yeah. Why is it? Yeah. Why is it corn? Yeah.
Corn
yeah. Well, you may give you a hint before tomorrow or no?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
If you
So
would.
corn in the Bible represents harvest.
Ooh, okay.
And a lot of times that represents people, the harvest.
People.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
I'll just give you that so you can play around with it. So yeah. So
thank you.
So tomorrow, just remember, don't be like Alex and let us run over you. Alex the whole time's like, these guys, hey, these Gentiles, can y'all stop talking? Can y'all shut up and get to my? But he don't know. He's like, okay, you know what? Just never mind. I'm telling you, Taylor, I don't know if you remember, but Flip, I know a lot of people remember this, but Flip, I don't remember what the topic was, but he brought up a topic, bro. He was like the one that brought something to the table, bro. We go off that whole day. Flip doesn't say nothing, bro. At the end of the day, Flip's like, hey, you think tomorrow we can go over my question? And I'm like, what was your question? So he asked his question again. I go, man. I was like, bro, that's what started the conversation. I was like, Flip, why did you say nothing? It's okay. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Bro, we did this for like 2 weeks, bro.
Yeah, I remember.
Do you remember? Every day. And we're like, Flip, bro. We're like, Flip, why did you? It's okay. We'll just talk about it the next day. Bro, you can't do that to Alex. Alex, don't worry about it. I will never ask you.
I'll never.
Alex is like, you know what? Heathens, heretics. Oh, bro, Alex is a trip, dude. But I remember, bro, I don't think anyone waited any longer, bro, than Flip, bro. It was like 2 weeks long, man. What did the front porch pulpit, what'd you say? I remember that. It was awesome. So much was revealed. I'm telling you, bro, all of us were like, I mean, I think, matter of fact, I think it was like 2-3 days in a row where Flip reminded us, and then a whole week went by, and all of us forgot. And Flip, bro, out of nowhere, he's like, hey, you think tomorrow we can talk about my question? I'm like, Flip, you didn't ask a question. Yeah, you don't remember? It was like almost 2 weeks ago. I go, what?
Yeah.
I was like, bro, what was the question? So he brings the question up again. I was like, oh my God, bro, you did ask that question like 2 weeks ago. I was like, that's it. We were talking about that. And I'm telling you, I don't want to say it was Saba, but it was somebody that was like, hey, I have a question. I said, no. We got to go over. I'm not saying it is Saba, but it's someone that, that is, usually has a question to ask. And I was like, no, I said, no, I got to remember, man. I was like, Flip wanted to talk about this 2 weeks ago. And we've been talking about everything else, dude. Oh man.
I'll bring that up in the morning.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Bring it up, and remember, just keep reminding us, because we're gonna go off and freaking go to La La Land for like 10 years before we get back to the Bible. But Dre,
call, I think at like 8:30. I think it's 8:30 in the morning, so I might be a little bit late, but when I get here, I'll bring it up.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Bring it up when you get here. Absolutely. Nina, what you got before we go?
I'm just waiting to hear what Saba's question is. God bless.
Oh my God. Here we go. Jennifer, what you got?
Oh my God.
Calling you out, bro. Jennifer, what you got?
I've waited for like 5 minutes.
Okay, so
Jennifer's like, nope.
Alex.
Jennifer's like, nope. I'm gonna beat you to it, bro.
No, I just want Alex to see this picture because it helped me so much,
okay.
and it's a little study. you can take a screenshot, or maybe possibly I can message the picture to you. But after you study this, and you're going to see that light, and it's going to be so obvious to you. But it gives you the little scriptures to go over, and it's basically Jesus. That menorah is a light in the light, basically.
Yeah. The center one is Jesus that feeds the other six, which is man. But anyway, because he is the seventh, right? The perfect number. But yeah, so all right, so let me see. I'm just gonna leave it up there, and just in case somebody wants to screenshot it, you know. Okay, Agape Love, you got anything before we go? No. CJ, what you got?
God bless it.
What's up?
Thank you for today. Have a good day, and God bless.
Absolutely. Agape Love, what's up?
Yes, I have a question.
Oh man, here we go. Uh-oh.
I'm just kidding.
No.
Stay blessed. Love you all.
Cool. Taylor already talked to us. Christian, what's up, man?
Nothing to days, God bless. Let's take care, everyone.
All right, God bless. Saba, what's up? Saba ran and got her. Saba ran and got her notebook.
God bless you, brother. God bless everyone. No, I'm going to ask you this question first in private. And then if you approve it, I'm going to ask you here on the live. So, yeah.
Okay.
It's
all
about
right.
like Gnosticism and, Gnostic gospel and all this stuff. So,
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah. Shoot me a DM. And we'll discuss it there, and then no problem. No problem.
perfect.
All right, cool. All right.
Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
absolutely.
Have a blessed day, everyone.
Absolutely. God bless, guys. We'll see y'all in the morning.